Are we spinning?
I think we're good.
All right, everybody. Welcome to this Thursday night's edition of the Live Well here at Fish North Georgia on YouTube. We want to thank you for taking your time to join us. And again, if you're watching, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. If you're watching at a later date, we love you too. And check us out on all our social media, TikTok, Instagram. What do old people do, Kevin? Newspaper. Check us out in the newspaper with Kevin.
I haven't had a newspaper in years.
So, yeah, hey, guys, we got a great show tonight. Kevin Thornton's in the house with us. We got Tim McGuire back there in the back. Put that picture on you back there, Tim. There you go, Tim. And Jonathan Farmer is going to be here in a few. We're going to be talking about pre-spawn bass fishing. He's getting off of work about 8 o'clock, so he's going to join us here in a little bit. Got a couple guys back in the gallery, and as you can see, things look a little bit different. And Jeremiah, what's up? Landrum, you guys in the comment section. Hey, make sure you join us. And, again, your comments are going to drive the show tonight. So, again, pre-spawn bass fishing. Let's take care of a little bit of business before everybody gets here and gets going. All our sponsors, let's thank them right now. Opson Fluorocarbon. Again, guys, hey, listen, you've been hearing me talk about it. You see it right here. OpsonUSA.com. Go over there. If you type in FNG, you get 20% off, and it's the newest fluoro on the market. You know, tuna anglers use fluoro, and that's where they come from. They're out of California, and so they've been in that game. They're jumping here in the freshwater game. Check them out at OpsonUSA.com and hang around for the Opson question of the week, where you can get $50 code to any of their products at OpsonUSA.com. And next, we've got Festive Waters. All right, there you can check them out at www.festivewaters.com off 369 Kayaks, Paddle Sports. Hey, listen, they're celebrating their 1-year anniversary, and they've got a sale on all their Soul kayaks and products, paddles and everything through the month of February. So tell the guys Fish North Georgia sent you there. Hey, I even think they rent them too. So if you want to go try something out, check them guys out at festivewaters.com. And then we've got Sonar Pros. Guys, Trent Palmer and the guys, 770-530-4505. The best. Take your boat where the pros take their boats. All right, if you want it done right, get his wire and harness, everything professionally done. Check Trent and the guys out again. By appointment only. By appointment only. And then check out behind me. You can see lit up back there, Turner Tire here in Jasper, Georgia. Hey, it's a great family-run business. All your tires and brake needs. Brock and the guys will treat you right there. Check them out. Give them a call, 706-253-3339. And again, tell them the guys at Fish North Georgia sent you. And, of course, my favorite of all the sponsors, Etowah Mead, Beer, and Wine in Dahlonega, Georgia. You guys definitely need to go up there and check it out. Great atmosphere on Thursday nights. They do trivia. They do mead and beer. And the cool thing about mead is if you're watching this show out of state, hey, they can ship mead to you. Tonight, we're bringing back one we've had before, the 1883. So it's a light lager, very smooth tasting. Tim, what do you think about it back there?
This is outstanding. I like it. It's light, just like it says. It's not too heavy.
Not too heavy. So it's pretty good. So everything. So is that a signed photo of the band White Snake, Derek O? No.
Close, but no cigar.
No. Do not insult this picture by saying White Snake. This is a signed photo of Van Halen right there. If you've watched this show long enough, you ought to know that is the best band in the world with the greatest guitar player that ever lived and walked the planet, Eddie Van Halen. So my buddy Josh got me this signed copy of it right there. So White Snake's pretty good, but of course we're going to run with Van Halen always. So there you go right there. So again, you guys are watching in comments. Jonathan will be here. Jonathan Farmer will be here in a few minutes. But we're going to talk pre-spawn bass fishing. You know, for the last month and a half, it seems like all we've talked about is ditch fishing. And yes, that bite is going on. Yes, it's something that you can do right now. But instead of talking about it another episode, we thought we'd get a jump on the pre-spawn because before you know it, right now it's cold. It's been cold this week. What do you think? I mean,
real cold.
Cold, and it's going to rain tonight. And then I heard tomorrow the temperature is going to start off in like the 30s and it's going to drop all day long. And then not even get out of the 20s on Saturday. A lot of tournaments got canceled for that. So a lot of tournaments got canceled for Saturday, and then it's going to be in the teens Sunday. But here's the crazy thing about Georgia weather. I saw next Wednesday it's supposed to be in the 60s.
All next week. We got some rain coming.
And it's supposed to rain every single day next week. So not the best fishing weather, but we're going to go. Yeah, ice fishing there at Crowley, 100%. And that's something that I definitely want to do is get up and do some ice fishing one of these days. sit in a warm. You know what's crazy about ice fishing is that they got heaters in them things. You're sitting on ice with heaters.
You could probably do it here Saturday at some of them ponds.
Some of them ponds. I don't think it would quite be as fun as if we went to Michigan or back up to Maine, something like that. So, but Eric, how you doing? You know, guys up at Carter's, and I'm going to be coming and seeing you on January 30th. Me and Kevin Underwood with Lipsticker Fishing. He called me up and said, "Hey, what are you doing?" And we got talking, and we started talking about Carter's. He's never been there, and I've never fished the main lake. So on January 30th, he and I are going to just ride up and see what we can do with Carter's and see if it's as tough as everybody says it is. And you ever fish Carter's?
Never have.
Never. It's deep. It's deep, absolutely deep. So let's talk a little bit. Let's kind of get into the conversation. Again, Jonathan Farmer is going to jump in. And guys, in the comment section, again, if you got questions or comments about pre-spawn fishing, jump in there because Eric, I'll holler at you when we head up that way. When I say pre-spawn bass fishing to you, Kevin, what does that mean to you?
To me, it means the fish are starting to move out of the deep water, moving on up. Usually around the mid 40s, late 40s, up into the mid 50s. They're hungry, so they're going to be eating and chasing anything. Yeah,
it's one of the better times. It's funny, you know, people talk about, oh, it's too cold to fish right now. Winter fishing is amazing. And going up into the pre-spawn and spawn is even better because they're getting active. They're getting really active. Like you said, they're chasing baits. They're trying to gorge themselves up to get ready for the spawn.
Yep.
And so you fish. I know we talk a lot about these highland reservoirs up here with Lanier and Allatoona. And I know you fish Allatoona, but you've also fished other lakes like Oconee, lakes down south and everything. So I wanted, before Jonathan got here and we really jumped on these northern lakes, I wanted to get your take on lakes like Oconee and Sinclair. What this time of year, what those guys are looking at, since you've got some experience, and you're from Florida too. So, I mean, I assume there's a pre-spawn in Florida as well.
There is.
So,
I'm used to the grass in Florida, which we don't have up here.
We don't.
No. When I go to Sinclair, Oconee, I'm looking for usually the north side coves, little pockets off the main lake, looking for deep water close by access. We throw in spinnerbait, crankbait, rattle trap, and a jig.
Yeah.
Those are my four primary.
That's your four primaries right there. Pull that comment, JP Vern outside right there. Last 2 days would have been great fishing. Going to be over a week before the weather gets good enough again. Yeah, we got some nasty weather coming in. That's just stuff we got to deal with. And Stephen Bardet is in the house. I didn't know Stevie Ray Vaughan played with Van Halen. He didn't. He wasn't good enough. So, that's just the way it is. Now, don't get me wrong. Stevie Ray Vaughan is on my Mount Rushmore of guitar players, but he ain't at the top, big dog, like that. But, a talent definitely went way too soon. Connor Hewitt, where pre-spawn equals spot choker. Equals spot choker. You know, what's funny, the underspin game now has changed fishing so much that it's a year-round bait, really. Guys are throwing swim baits and spot chokers.
Swim bait's another great bait.
Yeah, it is. Swim bait is a great bait, all the way up to, really all year. But what's funny is it is one of those few baits that I think works year round, just depending on where you throw it.
I think during the pre-spawn, there any number of baits because they're just chasing and eating anything at this point.
Yeah, they are. Now, here's a question. I'm going to ask this to Jonathan when he gets here too. But in your opinion, largemouth. What's up, Casey Blanton? Largemouth and spots, there have to be a little bit different attitudes from the fish towards pre-spawn. Now, and I ask you that because, you go down to Oconee and those lakes and coming from Florida, you're going to be much more largemouth oriented on those lakes like that. Have you noticed coming up here fishing Allatoona and all, just from your experience in the past to now, can you tell a difference in how you approach those two fish or how they react?
Yeah. To me, the spots move a lot more. This time of the year, pre-spawn, they're going to be moving. You might find them today in one pocket, and the next 2 days later, they might have moved down 2-3 other pockets, or they might have moved out, depending on the weather. Where largemouth don't move that much.
Right. So it's a little.
They hunker down.
They hunker down. So, Chris Stubbs Anglin's here. What's up, fellas? Hey man, how you guys doing? Joe, let's see. Casey Blanton wants to know new studio action. Yeah, so actually, let me go ahead and explain real quick, just so you guys that are watching and notice it's been different. We had a flood down in the basement about 3 weeks ago, and we kind of powered through it through our last couple podcasts, but they're going to be doing some work down in the basement. So Josh and I moved it all up here. Josh got the mood lighting, as you can see behind me. It looks fantastic. Now, you will get a little road noise every time we have a loud vehicle come by, but that's just it. But I think we might even just keep it right here because it's convenient to the refrigerators. Nobody. I don't have to send anybody.
It looks good.
It
It
good.
looks fabulous.
Listen, it looks good and probably better internet. That's right, though. Danny, it sounds like you trimmed your gain down. Sounds way better, nice and clear. Hey, you know what? I told Josh when we were setting this up, I am always so loud.
That's the 1883.
It's something. It is something like that. So, but yeah, it does look good. Josh did a really good job with that. And so you can see that's what happens when you got, you're lucky enough and your partner's a professional cinematographer. He thinks about lights and shades and stuff like that. I'm just like, as long as the daggum internet works and our mics work this week, which it did, I hope from the get-go, no comments in the viewer section right there. That's all I care about. Josh has got this vision and all that. So you see how we got all that? It's glowing in the background. So it looks really good. Look at that. Paul Coonan back upstairs. We're going to leave it here. And as always, guys, if you're watching this, we got a couple buddies back here watching. Anytime you're in the area on a Thursday night, get up here about 7 o'clock and join the conversation. And then you can sit and hang out on the show. And you never know, if I got an open seat, I might throw you on here. So
yeah, I'm gonna show them the peanut gallery real quick.
Show the peanut. You can see the guys back there. We do.
Yeah.
We're not lying. We do have some back there smiling and all that.
If you're up here watching, make sure that you're not doing anything you don't want anybody to see when you're back there.
That's exactly right there. So Tim, I want your take on it. Prespawn. What does prespawn mean to you?
Fish starting to come out of their deep haunts,
Yeah.
getting on maybe primary points, starting to get ready to move back in, and it's usually the buck bass going to move up first, so you got smaller fish, but a good moving bait, and I like worms.
A good moving bait, and you like worms.
I like worms, yeah. Get a good shaky head or something going on.
I do find that out, and I think pretty much anything, like you said, anything works from right now on up into the spawn because they're just.
That's what I found.
Yeah, they're just hungry.
They're hungry. And if a guy wants to throw a huge swim bait, he can throw a huge swim bait. If you're a crankbait guy, there's that rock crawler bite, and it's going to.
I still think
worms.
you need to match the bait, though. If
do.
you're in a shad lake or something like that, it needs to be shad oriented.
Yeah, this is the time of the year that whatever your favorite go-to confidence bait is,
Yeah.
as long as you maybe scale the size, like Kevin said down, I mean, you can go get busy and have a good day.
You can. So Jeremiah goes, bass fishing is cool, but y'all should have been there for that insane bluefish blitz I was on last weekend. Well, listen, if you can get it where we ain't got to travel and you get the bluefish up here, hey, I'd fish it. But
Yeah.
I bet that was really cool. Ron Swinford, pre-spawn, they move to the tips of those longer points.
Yes, they do.
Out into the
They
lake and all that. So that's, and
They'll follow the ditches up too, Danny.
Yeah.
I know you don't want to talk ditches, but
But
they
no,
will
I mean,
follow.
the ditch bite's still part of it, and the ditch bite will go for, till the water temperature starts warming up. But there's always going to be a population of fish that move up early,
Oh, yeah.
and there's always a population of fish that bed earlier than other fish because bedding comes in waves. So I would imagine pre-spawn comes in waves with certain fish.
2, 3, 4 months. Yeah.
That's a good point, Danny, because when people think, oh, it's spawn, they're all going to move up at one time. It's just wave after wave.
It is.
You'll have people that's like, man, I was catching fish that were in spawn mode, and it's like a month after everybody else was.
Yeah.
It's just another wave that moved up.
I know that Ryan and I saw bass on bed in June last year on Lake Lanier. On Lake Lanier, they start going on bed on Lake Lanier in March. So March, April, May, June, 4 months. So it's a prolonged period. So I would imagine if that's the case, those late bedders or late pre-spawners, or I don't know what triggers it, Mother Nature, whatever. But
I don't think they lay all their eggs at one time either. So that's part of the spawning ritual. They might come up bed early and then a month.
Yeah,
later
some
come
of the
on back
bigger
to spawn
females.
again.
You think so?
I don't think they spawn all at one time.
I have no idea
Lay
right
all
there.
their eggs.
Pull up. Let's see. Derek O's got a question right there for us. And again, guys, hey, you drive the show. You guys keep your comments coming. Thoughts on Biggs Real Estate shopping their spawn area early? So actually, some of the big girls going up, checking the place out, seeing what kind of guys there, what the dating scene looks like. You got any thoughts on that?
No. I don't.
You've been out of the dating scene a while now, so I guess so. But I think that goes back to what we're saying. Some move up early, but I can see that. Now, I don't know what they're looking for, but I imagine as they're eating, probably the bucks get in their mind, as we all do, because we know what guys think with. They're the ones that are going up there thinking love before the females are. Wouldn't you think so?
Yes.
So the bucks are probably up there checking out the real estate. Yeah, that's a nice set
Their
of
genetics
rocks.
tell them to do that.
Yeah, that's a nice set of rocks. I bet I could get a big girl on that.
Yeah,
one.
probably so.
You know, they're checking out the place. Big girl gonna like that. So we all, and I like big girls. So there you go. That's not about my wife. So my wife
Right.
watches. I just kidding. Jeremiah Giles. Let's see. I still believe the biggest bass move up first. Pre-spawn begins much earlier than people think, and that's why I wanted to talk about it a little bit tonight, because it is almost mid-January, a little past mid-January, but March will be here, and there are going to be some fish on bed before you know it, especially South Georgia as it warms up a little earlier there. They're probably already on bed in Florida, ain't they? When did the spawn start in Florida?
The end of January, 1st of February.
Okay,
But the
so
weather
they
has
go-
a lot to do with it too now.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well, there's a big tournament going out of Okeechobee, I think, the end of this month,
right.
and they'll be looking for spawners.
Ain't that crazy? It's what's funny too. It's almost like deer hunting too, like the rut in Georgia. Come on, Jonathan, get over here and jump on. Jonathan Farmer finally walked in the house there. Everybody give him a big applause there. We got the celebrity is here.
3 Chinese cheers.
3 Chinese cheers.
Fooey, fooey,
Fooey,
fooey.
fooey, fooey, right there.
fooey.
Jump on right there, dog. You want a beer?
Am I going to say no to one?
Do you want to add our meadery product right there? Jump into that. The 1883 is a beer, and the rest is mead, so you can get that. Let's pull that camera up, make sure that he wants that 1883 right
Yeah.
there. So there you go.
Let's get him
So don't be
situated, make
shaking
sure
him
he's
up
seen.
over there, Josh. What's
Jonathan's
going on?
kind of tall. We may have to kick the camera
Look
up just a
at that.
smidge.
That's
on
what
him.
happens when the gentle giant shows up. Look at that smile. So your camera's going to be right over there if you want to look at people so they can see them pretty eyes. How was work today?
I don't want to talk about
Okay, good. So we're going to talk fishing. So just to fill you in, we're talking pre-spawn fishing. How you like that?
I love it.
Okay,
My
good.
time of year.
I'm talking about the beer, dude.
Oh, it's good.
Okay, then now pre-spawn fishing. So what we've talked about so far, and guys, hey, listen, we're going to get to your comments. So if you do put a question up there and I miss it, make sure you put it back. We'll catch it on the backside. So here's what we're talking about so far. Pre-spawn's going to basically almost from now, depending on part of the state you are, on up into March. You know, you kind of agree with that. They're getting ready to go on bed and all that. And so Kevin, what were the baits you said you like pre-spawn?
The spinnerbait, rattle trap, crankbait, and a jig.
And I think that's really influenced by where you've come from in the lakes you fish.
Yeah. Now if I was more in Florida, and I can do it up here too, weightless Senko, not wacky rig, just a weightless Senko.
Weightless Senko, just rig like Texas rig.
Yep.
Kind of like that. Okay, farmer, the world wants to know. They're dying with bated breath. What do you like to do? Actually, let's start off with this. What does pre-spawn mean to you? I've asked the other guys that. What does pre-spawn mean to you?
It means the fish are feeding up, getting ready to spawn. They're
Simple
getting
enough.
Fat
Being
and
fat.
happy.
Fat and happy. That's the country boy answer right there. So, what kind of approaches are you going to be taking with them?
A lot like his. I'm looking for my channel swings close to spawning bays is where I'm looking.
Deep water to shallow.
Deep water, shallow, but close to where they can just move up quick, spawn, move right back out.
So the guys like so access to deep water.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Right where your creek channel comes in, slams up against the opposing bank
Okay.
or north facing pockets because they're going to be the first ones to warm up in the year. I also like to look for areas that provide a lot of bait and food for these fish.
Okay.
Creeks are a big one. You got crawfish, brim, everything's moving up all at once.
They do. Now pull up, go up in some of them questions right there. I think we missed a couple of them. Where are we at? It's pre-spawn. Go down a little bit. Start with JP Vern outside. I want to do that really quick. Speaking of weather, I joke about Georgia creating several pre-spawn seasons, but all seriousness, with the up and down temps, do our bass have several pre-spawns or is it a definite time frame? And that's a good question because like we just said, it's in the 20s tomorrow and Saturday and this weekend. A lot of tournaments canceled. And then it's going to be in the 50s and 60s all next week. And then we'll probably have another one of them Arctic fronts move down and drop it back down. So, Jonathan, I'll throw that to you. What do you think about that? Is it really just an entire area? Does the weather dictate it? Is it a set time frame? What do you think?
It's not a set time frame. Fish are they need a certain water temp to spawn. So I look for for it to get back to mid 50s
That's what
before-
kicks it in.
to really start moving these fish back shallow, getting ready to make that push back to the back of these spawning bays and these spots blow throughs.
Right.
I mean, I'm talking largemouth when I say spawning bays. The
Yeah.
spots, you can go like, we'll say Carter's last year. I was out in the middle of the lake on a hump that come up to 8 foot, and they were spawning all over it.
Really?
Yeah. So it's spots will spawn out in the middle of the lake. Largemouth are more the ones that'll go in
Well,
back of these spawning bays.
spots are just strange creatures.
Definitely.
They're absolutely strange.
Well, they're
creatures.
usually deeper spawners too. I
Oh,
mean,
15 foot.
yeah,
They're
they do.
spawning 15
20
foot.
at least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They do.
Bass are at 15 or 5 to 15 maybe
Yeah.
on largemouth.
Yeah. And it's crazy. Now, we had a question earlier too, or I brought up the topic from largemouth to spots. Pre-spawn about the same or a little bit different for each one of them? What's your thoughts on that?
Largemouth, if I'm targeting straight largemouth, I actually look for dirty water in pre-spawn. I don't want that crystal clean stuff we've got.
Right.
I
You know,
want
you like
dirty-
trash water.
I like, well, not dirty water, not
Heavy
yoo-hoo,
stained.
Right. But yeah,
a heavy
no, but
stain.
you like it.
8 inches to a foot.
Yeah.
I'm happy.
Because you're throwing a crankbait in that stuff a lot.
Chatterbait, crankbait, rattle trap. I'm throwing a spinnerbait.
Are you trying to get a reaction bite?
At that time of year, I'm trying to
Yes.
get. I think the biggest fish in the lake is going to eat something that goes by its face, and it goes. I either eat or I don't.
Yeah.
Not drop something down and get to look at it for 5 minutes. Go, eh.
Yeah, they don't
Yeah.
get to
You're
study
more or
on
less
it.
power fishing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
power
no, yeah.
fishing.
Well,
It's a power
that's him.
fishing time of
Yes,
year.
yeah. So you think power fishing in the pre-spawn is more successful than finesse? And I know
will
you
go-
like the power fish. So.
I love the power fish. I don't like finesse fishing that much, which
Right.
I get beat quite a bit because I'm too stubborn to
Right.
switch over to finesse. But during the pre-spawn, I'd say power outweighs finesse,
Right.
except for maybe after a cold front comes through and knocks them in the head.
Yeah,
Then you got to slow down.
And then you got to slow down.
you do. Let's see. So if I missed any questions, did I miss any questions before those right there? I'm not. Oh, let's see.
Covered it.
No, that's okay. Oh, there's a couple of them right there.
What you say?
Let's see. I see some late spawners all the way down to Kissimmee. Smart guys always seem to chase herring bite while the rest sit on beds. Why can't I be a smart guy? Joey, hey, buddy, I know I got you. I got you. Jeremiah says bass will spawn more than once in a year. He's
Yep.
heard from biologists, so that kind of plays in on what you were saying.
Yeah, that went with what Kevin was talking about.
Yeah, and Darian Moss said, "What do we think about the new Berkeley Craig and the finisher?"
You knew this was coming.
I knew it was
Yep.
coming, so we're going to talk about that real quick, and then we'll get on down. Just keep it at that comment. You guys keep the questions coming, and as we scroll, we'll get to them. What was the bait we talked about when we were talking about the Craig? What did you say?
The banjo?
Not the
Or the
banjo,
flying
the
minnow?
Flying
flying
lure.
minnow.
Does it not remind you of the old flying lure?
The
that
flying
flies back
lure,
in
it
there?
goes up and falls back to the back. I think it's a pretty neat concept. I think it will play better with the forward facing sonar guys.
Yeah, definitely.
I think it's something they can watch a little bit better. So if you, I'm not saying it's not a good bait.
It's no different from the jerk bait. It just falls back.
It's a jerk bait with the bill turned differently,
It's
kind of like a
it's-
spy bait, jerk bait
It's
combo.
a heavier weighted jerk bait that goes down and the lips inverted. So when you jerk it, it goes up instead of down.
Yeah, and it falls
Which-
backwards.
Yeah, and
Which
it's connected at the front of the bill instead of back onto it.
mhm,
And when it falls, it shimmies like a spy bait.
mhm.
Just sits there and goes
which
that direction.
which it intrigues me because then you get a jerk bait action deeper than you've ever got a jerk bait. These fish have never seen a jerk bait that deep.
Yeah, you can get it down
You can get, well, I mean, it
long
sinks.
as
You
you
can
let
get
it
it to
sink.
the
as long
bottom.
as you let it sink. So it's kind of like a hybrid bait.
Well, you just said forward facing sonar. That's what they're going to
It's
see. it
and
go
I think
down.
both of those baits are geared to the forward facing
Oh,
sonar.
that
guys.
way,
Switch something
on the
I've seen.
packet, it has FFS
Yeah.
on it. So it's for the forward facing
Which
sonar.
which is funny, and we're not going to get into a forward facing sonar debate on this
No.
thing, but it is how forward facing sonar is changing the industry for bait manufacturers, because guys are using it, and if you can create the bait that the forward facing guys can use to their advantage, they're going to buy it. It's all. I mean, it's smart.
It's a good sized bait. You can see it easier.
It
too.
is, and I think that finisher is the same thing. It's more of kind of like
I don't know what the
the
action
finisher
is
on that. I think it's more of like it sinks. I've never fished with anyone, but I think it sinks and goes down. But I think you can fish it more Demiki-ish because the line tie is on top of the head. There's no bill to it whatsoever. So
It darts too.
So is it like that?
It'll dart
is
back
it
and
like
forth.
the Rapala ice jig or whatever that is? What's the Rapala plug that's got the two plastic pieces that come off the back and got the single hook?
I have no
Rapala
idea.
makes it.
I know what you're talking about.
Is it kind of like that? I'm guessing if it's
We'll have to. We'll pull
with
up
a 90
picture.
degree angle tie.
Listen,
Yeah.
as far as what do we think about it? If it catches fish and you have confidence in it, use it. I've not fished.
Has
either one
anybody
of them.
used it?
It just came out. I know they got them at some of the local tackle shops. I plan on getting some here. So.
Anybody
Yeah, if anybody
Hey,
in
if
the
any of you
comments
guys,
has used
in
it,
comments, you use it. We'll
Lay
catch
it
up
on
with
us.
you. Did you ever beat the record of Lake Lanier? I don't know what record it was, but I promise I sure as hell didn't beat it. Negative. So no. So tell me, Jack Swan, what you're talking about in that comment, because I don't know. I'm sure I probably said something about it one night. Yes, Collins, we got the Publix chicken. Kevin Thornton's here. Pull up Stephen Bardet's comment right there. Caught a 7.3 in a BFL in February on Lanier, 3 foot of water in the back of a pocket, earlier than you would expect. Now, let me tell you this, Bardet. So the electric series went out last Saturday out of Mary Alice Park, so Bald Ridge Marina. The winning weight was, I think, 23.48, and they had a 7+ largemouth. So that's January. What the hell was last Saturday? The 12th or 13th or 11th, whatever. Today's what, the 18th?
Mm-hmm.
So last Saturday's
13th.
Thursday. So the 13th.
13th.
7+ caught out of Bald Ridge Marina on that. And I do know that a lot of those guys like to go up as they come out of Mary Alice Park, take a left, go back in behind the marina and get up there. And from all that rain that we had the week before, you get that really stained water. And I know a lot of guys like to go up there and throw like the Fritz sides, the real thin crankbaits, into kind of like what you like to do, into that stained water and get that reaction by you. Yeah, but yeah, I definitely believe that right there.
Well, we had a 7+ in the ABA as well, weighed in.
Yeah, they're there.
Alex Prince caught it in 4 foot of water.
I did not ask Geiger.
He
and
won
them.
it, didn't he?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
I didn't ask
Handily.
him. I didn't ask him how deep that largemouth came out of, but I will tell you who tied the jigs that helped him right there. So, all right. So, yeah, me. Jack Swan, did you ever beat the unspoken record of Lake Lanier?
what is
What is
that?
that?
Did I say something on a podcast that I
I'm-
don't
yeah, I'm
remember? Did I
lost.
have too much of the Etowah one night?
I had that too much too, I guess.
What is the unspoken record of Lake Lanier? So,
I have no idea.
Jack,
but now I want to know.
Yeah, well, I've got some records, like a police record, and but seriously, like, tell me what I talked about, because I really don't remember. So, but I'll tell you what, if I beat it or not, right there. Largemouth spawn a little earlier. I have heard that. Berkeley Copycat Shop is very busy again. So, Ron, so that's an interesting comment, Ron. Apparently, you know a little bit more than we do. So, if you know the baits that you think they might be, throw it in the comment section right there. I would love to know about it. I do know that when it came out with their, what was it? What was the one? Was it not Colshad? Is that the Berkeley? Is that the Berkeley big swim bait? Was that the Colshad?
That's Spro.
Spro's the Colshad. What was that other one that they had to recall?
Oh,
It's kind of like the mag draft.
yeah, I know which one you're talking about.
I know a lot of people spoke about that, but let's be honest. You can only redesign so many baits now. I mean, if there's a bait out there, there's really nothing new under the market. So I can definitely see other companies, but it's like a jig. There's only so many colors and like that, but that'd be interesting.
There it is. The jig.
There's
The
also
Rapala ice jig. That's what
Yeah.
you were talking
Yeah.
about.
where was that in the comments?
Right there, Ron Swinford, right there.
Ron. You can always count on Ron.
Ron is a bevy of knowledge. Like he is right there. He's one of the best. I love it when he comes up here.
Reed Casey's.
Yeah, Casey Blanton, right there above him, right there. Been putting a 3/8 weight on a +1 jerk bait for years. The Credge is that on steroids. Okay,
Interesting.
so Casey dropping some juice right there tonight, right there. So you guys,
That's
in the
not even
comment section,
sugar-free, is it?
I love our comment section. Go up one more. We're just going to keep going out right there.
Yeah.
Carter's spots spawn out in open water with a question mark. How deep? Mitchell Hensley would like to know. So, Jonathan Farmer, since you brought up seeing spots out there on Carter's, but that was on a hump.
They were on 3 different humps. I could literally sit down and catch 8 off that one hump, go to the next one, catch 8 more, and just keep going back and forth.
What time of year was that?
That was April.
In April. So I can see them out there, but I would say, yeah, 'cause they're not definitely out in open water. They were on the hump.
They were on a sandy hump. What it was is they were pushed up there spawning. They do it on every lake through blow-throughs, sandy humps.
Blow-throughs is definitely a near thing.
Oh, yeah, they spot spawn on blow-throughs no matter what lake you're on.
Right.
But you can go out through there, and spots are so much more aggressive than largemouth when they're on bed. You can literally throw anything up there, and they're going to attack it. One way that I found that I can actually find if they're on that blow-through is taking a mag draft or a big swim bait and throwing it up there, and they'll come and attack it. You might not hook them. You know they're there. Now you can come back 15 minutes later when they've set back up and throw a smaller swim bait or worm up there and pick them up.
Farmer dropping the juice right there. Michael Temples had a comment earlier. We're already talking pre-spawn.
Oh, yeah, it was the Spro, was the Chad Shad. That's right.
Chad Shad, yeah.
You were right. It was the Cold Shad.
So, Michael, it is, we've talked ditches pretty much kind of even with the guests that we've had. And, hey, you Lake Lanier guys, let me go ahead and drop this. Let me give you a name for next week. I've been trying for 2 years to talk to people, see if this guy would come on. And I actually just reached out to him this week, and he said, sure. Paul Driscoll is going to be on the show next week. So if you've been around Lake Lanier tournament fishing, that is a name that you know. And so Mr. Driscoll is going to be here next week, and hopefully I can get him to drop some knowledge. So you guys definitely want to mark next week to be here and watch that show. The Cold Shad. So, but, that's the thing is like now, but I wouldn't technically say that, though, the Credge is a jerk bait. It's not technically a jerk bait, is it?
It's like a hybrid between like the riser and a jerk bait, because it rises as you pull it. I mean, you can jerk that thing from the bottom and keep jerking, and it eventually is going to come all the way to the top.
Right.
From what I've seen.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't own one.
I don't have one either. Not yet. Again, guys, if I missed your comments, there's been a bunch of them tonight. You guys, if you got a question, do it again. Barday says, I wouldn't doubt it. For what I've seen, there's a lot more largemouth on the south end of Lake Lanier than people think. 100%. 100%. And not only are they being caught shallow, but during this past summer and all that and fall, a lot of them were being caught deep out in open water in places that you wouldn't expect it. But yeah, Lake Lanier's, the largemouth population on Lake Lanier is really rebounding quite well. And there's some big girls in there. So the Berkeley Nessie was a blatant copy. Farmer, did you retie that jerk bait? What does that mean?
I retied that jerk bait before that Saturday tournament, which I'm not going to talk about.
Broke?
Did it break? Did you lose one?
No, I tripped over my own feet on that tournament. We're just going to say that.
Oh, okay. Well, you know what? Hey, let's say this. I think a lot of people are like, they want to know what you catch them on and all that, but sometimes what you did wrong or what you didn't catch them on is still as valuable information. So what did Farmer do wrong?
That's some of the best informations.
Yeah, what? Yeah, look at you smiling like that. I'm gonna prod at you, dog.
I went against my better judgment. I tried to go down south and compete with the guys that are normally offshore fishermen, and I'm not one. And finally said I gave up on it and went back to what I like to do and caught 3 3-pounders and 3 casts and ran out of time.
Well, okay. So listen.
Said, hey, dum-dum.
So, Kevin, what's the lesson of that?
Don't second guess yourself.
And fish your strengths.
Stick with your plan.
Fish your strengths, right?
You had a game plan, I'm sure.
Oh, I did.
Yeah.
And I went with it, and I caught fish, but they were all shorts first thing that morning because I'd been on a crankbait bite first thing in the morning when they'd had all that bait pushed back and catching some good ones. And it didn't happen. I was like, wow, I got to go south if I'm going to compete. I went south and caught one measly 12-incher and said the heck with it. Went back up to River Forks and put a jig in my hand and skipped under a dock 3 different times and caught 3 that were pushing 3.5 pounds.
The jig bite is on right now on there.
Mm-hmm.
I can't believe you didn't throw a jig all day. It is on. The jig bite is on, guys, right now on there. That winning bag, 3 of the 5 fish weighed in were caught on a jig. And that included the 7.5 pound largemouth. I don't think was caught on a jig.
Williams is giving you a little love after he threw you under the bus.
Who is that? I love you, Farmer.
He's
Listen,
an ABA guy.
I
He
love
hangs
him
out
too.
with Michael Kenny a lot.
I love him too and all that. So one of these days I'm gonna get him to yum a little bit. If you guys know what I'm talking about right there.
So,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Go ahead. Yeah. Watch this. Kevin Thornton, do you yum?
Yes.
Tim McGuire.
Absolutely.
That's right. Look at me. The world would be a better place if everybody yummed a little
Right.
bit. So the guys in the gallery know what that is now. And if you want to know what
They're
yum
sitting
yum
back
is,
behind
You
Farmer
have to
there.
come down
See,
here.
you have to be here before the show, and I will explain to you what that is. So anyway, but listen to that. Have you guys heard of the Nick Her Bait by Barkley? Nickher, the Nick Her Bait by Barkley.
I'm not.
I have not heard that, but so you tell us what it is in the comments. I'd love to know what the Nick Her Bait is. Yeah, right there, Nick Her Bait by Barkley. I've never heard of it, Jack. So kind of tell us what it is a
Is
little
that
bit.
Berkeley or Barkley?
Maybe Berkeley.
Yeah, I'm thinking Berkeley.
yeah,
He still never told me what the untold record of Lanier was.
yeah, he hadn't explained that yet.
Yeah, I still need to know what record I was trying to break right there. So Carter's levels fluctuate a lot too. Sometimes put on a hump is a very viable for them versus off the bank where their beds may be out of water the next day, especially down in that lower lake. I ain't never figured out
I
how.
think the ones out there on the hump, nobody looks for them, or they either don't know they're there.
They don't get
Those
molested.
are overlooked fish.
They don't get molested.
No, they do not.
Well, just yeah, because everybody's beating the banks and stuff like that.
They're
So,
all back in the cut looking for them on a flat.
See, I
yeah.
think that's like Alatuna's problem. Them dropping the water like they do when they start to move up.
Yeah.
Started to fill it.
Well, I mean, it's what now?
That's
What is it,
not
Tim? It's
lead.
come up to 5 feet below full pool
So
now.
it is coming up.
Because
Oh, it
Rain.
came up like 6 feet.
Is that
Yeah.
because of the rain?
Yeah,
Oh,
it
yeah.
came up like 6 feet, and now they're going to yank the bottom out of it again.
They're going to
These
draw
fish-
it down?
Oh,
Yeah, when it gets spawn time, they'll move the lake up, and then the fish will start moving, and
And
the
they'll
lake
drop
goes
it.
back out from under them. So they kind of, regardless of water temperature, it's like their habitat's changing on them all the time.
They're going to drop. They're going to drop it back down. There ain't no way they're going to let it stay up 5 feet below.
Too
full
much
pool
winter
right
left,
now.
too much
Too
rain
much.
possibly
We're
can
not
come.
even really into all the rainy season yet.
Yeah, and I've always
Yeah.
wondered
Snow.
Still raining.
on Carter's re-reg lake, one day that thing, when they pump it into it, that thing could be like, what, 800,000 acres. And then the next day when they suck it back up into Carter's, it's 200 or whatever. Where do those fish spawn? How that mess? Because that water moves weekly. What does a fish do?
It sure hurts the largemouth bite on Alatuna, the spawn. But spots aren't too bad because, like I said, they're going to
They'll
spawn,
spawn
deeper.
anywhere.
Yeah, they'll find somewhere to go.
Dude, I
bet
found spots spawning on the spillways of dams.
Yeah, I mean, I know I can believe
And
that.
I've caught some dang monster spots doing that.
Oh,
too.
absolutely. So Collins is going to send Rachel back up there.
Whoa.
Oh Lord, that's another story right there.
I'm not sure if Danny can survive another assault like that. I mean, you know, she straightened him out.
She can't go eat her Chinese food now or Japanese food because they serve yum yum sauce. Not my problem. Blame Sal Pinto right there. We told you it's Sal's fault. So I'm pull up Titus Williams comment right there. I'm a new guy in the tournaments and I'm making some progress in my bag. Had truck problems last week. Couldn't bring the boat. Oh, so he's up on Carter's. He was a guy talking about Carter's and all that up there. So yeah.
No, he was with us.
Oh, with y'all, ABA. That's
Yeah,
the
he
ABA guy.
fishes the ABA.
Okay.
I think he ended up drawing Michael Kenny out,
Oh, bless your heart.
and they went fishing.
Bless your heart, old Michael.
Hey, Titus is a good guy.
Yeah.
He knows his grass lakes. He's a grass guy. He Chickamauga, stuff like that.
Ah, man, I tell you, one
Gunner's
time I
Wolf.
went to Chickamauga and we were supposed to be throwing frogs and
He loves that flutter spoon. He talks about that flutter spoon.
that flutter spoon. You like the flutter spoon? Hey, guys, in about 11 minutes, we're going to be doing 20 minutes, excuse me. We're going to be doing the option question of the week for $50 off at optionusa.com. So you can get your hands on this fluorocarbon. I want to show you something pretty cool. For all you organization junkies, they're magnetic. so they stick. So like when you ain't got line flying all through your tackle boxes and stuff like that. That's pretty cool, ain't it?
That is a
Is
cool.
that, listen,
cool
that's for guys
innovation.
like me. They're like, man, that's neat. I probably won't be able to get it straight again, but there it goes. Couple of comments from Barday and Stacy Blanton and all the fish your fish. Don't fish what others are doing. That's always good advice. But it's kind of one of the things that people talk about. Like, I can't compete unless I go out there. And that was your mindset. Like, you wanted to try it.
I've seen the weights that continually come out of Lanier, and
It's insane.
everybody talks about the timber bite, the timber bite, the timber bite. Well, me working like I do, I don't get a chance to go out there and learn it. So I took the opportunity to go. I've got some places that usually hold fish in the ditches. So I went, maybe they're out in the timber. So I went and tried it. Didn't work. Just happened not to be my day that day. I ain't going to say,
Just smile about it, though. Give me a smile. Give me a smile. There you go.
There you go.
Give me a smile. You too hard on yourself right there. So pull up Ron Swinford's comment. This is actually pretty cool. Now listen, let's preface this by saying Rocky Mountain is a different breed of lakes. Okay. The biggest gizzard shad I've ever seen live in Rocky Mountain.
Yep.
And those bass just gorge themselves on it. That's why it's the trophy lake that it is. But a few years ago, Hook and Look did a show at Carter's.
Mm-hmm.
I thought, okay, I saw Rocky Mountain comment. Excuse me, pull up Ron.
Yeah, Vern had the comment.
Rocky
up
Mountain
there
is a
about
crazy
that.
breed. Them bass don't act right. Yeah, that's why I got him and Ron's comment mixed up.
Yeah.
And they are, Vern. That lake is just all three of those lakes, which I
Throw-
consider the other lake basically one big lake with
Yeah.
a road in between.
If you go to Rocky, throw everything out the window, go over there that day, see what the water looks like, and start from scratch, and you'll catch fish. If you go over there with anything on your mind thinking that they're going to eat it, you're going to have a bad day.
Yeah, you got to play that day right there. But right above him, go up one more right there. This is pretty interesting. A few years ago, Hook and Look did a show at Carter's, filmed fish 30 feet deep spawning on the dam in late May or early June. 30 feet deep.
I said 15 to 30. when
You
we first
did say
started.
that. You did that. But at Carter's, 30 feet is like 5 feet at Lake Lanier. I mean, that's a 400-foot lake, ain't it? I mean,
Well,
it's crazy.
We tend to
Four,
think
I think
30 feet is
420.
deep, and it's really not.
Oh,
not,
I know.
Not up here.
It's not.
Most guys have 20-foot bass boats. Just add 10 foot to it. There's
Yeah.
30
I know
feet.
it, but when your mind thinks down,
Yep.
it seems like that's forever.
Yeah,
today.
40 foot seems like a lot, but like Jonathan said, it's just two boat lengths.
It
a
is.
truck and a trailer combined. There you go.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. You're
And
right.
when
40,
you're looking at it horizontally, it don't seem like much. But vertically, it seems like you're halfway to China
Well,
when you're doing
I
it.
also now with forward facing sonar, you can see how far you can cast.
Yeah.
Well, you're bombing 140 feet out there, 150 feet.
Yeah.
You're like, well, that ain't nothing.
But it seems like,
Yeah.
back in the day, it seemed like forever and all that. So let's see, I've been catching monster on that flutter spoon in 20 feet of water. So listen, I don't do that. Hickory Flat, what's up, Drew? Pull his comment up right there. He's got a little bit of a question on the end of that. The jig bite to me seems to be good when the water level is changing. Can it be it gets the crawfish moving more?
That's a good
would
good thought.
So all of you guys, that know how to fish, I don't. Y'all tell me your answer on that.
I'll just go back to my experience. We'll go back to Carter's Lake. Carter's Lake the last few years has flooded. I mean, 8, 9, 10 feet out of its banks. I think I put in one time on Carter's where the actual dam ramp was completely underwater, and I put in on the parking lot. But
Man wanted to fish.
These things happen.
but you can.
Oh, don't worry about that flood.
No, don't worry about it.
It'll be all right.
But you could literally go to the pine stumps of the pine trees standing up there and flip a black and blue jig in yoo-hoo water, catching 4.5, 5 pound spots every tree. They'd pushed up because the water came up. They were foraging that shoreline looking for new food.
Nutrients, too.
Yeah, and they're just
Oh
sitting there
God, they're out there roaming around. I mean, it's like trash cans and
Never been
picnic
here
tables
before.
and whatever they can find to
Ain't
eat.
that crazy though? How they'll do that?
So
it is.
that's where I'm
like
going.
with Altoona coming up like it has 6 foot. I would be lying to you if I wouldn't have been out there crashing the bank today with some kind of moving bait or a jig looking for those fish that had nosed up trying to find
with the water coming up.
with the water coming up. Now, it being a cold rain, They may not be up there
Had good
as
sun
much,
today, though.
Yeah.
but as far as they're still going to be fish push up looking for stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I find it pretty interesting like that. Got a creek, might try the football jig. Hey, listen, you can't catch fish if you're not in the water, so definitely get out there and throw it. Michael Geiger.
Did we answer the question?
Hold on a second. That makes me feel better. First of all, Michael, congratulations to you and Randy on your tournament win in the electric series. That was absolutely – there were some amazing weights in that. So 23.48, and people were like just going crazy because they said electric boats. Well, these guys are hammers. They can fish it. Pull that up. It was caught on a true grit jig in 5 feet of water. I did not know
What color?
I know what color I tied it.
What color?
I don't know if Michael and them want me to tell it. I'll tell you guys.
What was
off
it?
camera.
Well, I'll just say it. Was it one of our normal colors?
Yes.
Was
That's
it
a
high
fair
selling,
question.
Was it a high selling color?
Yes.
Peanut butter and jelly?
I know
I
which
can't
one.
say
I know
it.
which one it is.
I can't say it, but it's a very good Lake Lanier jig. Anyway, though, but
definitely
listen,
know
I
which
did not
one
know
it
that the
is.
largemouth came on a jig, so that's impressive. But 23.48 is a hell of a damn result in a tournament.
Mm-hmm.
22 pounds took second.
I
always feel for that guy that comes in, him and his partner, and it happens in the big boat tournaments and all that. They come in, they got 22 pounds, and they're like, guys, we're sitting good. You weigh it, you might be in first place, and here comes some guy with 23 pounds and beats you out.
This happens in the Scott Barnes tournaments all the time.
I
I watch
know.
their weights.
I know it, but
It
anyway,
always happens. when
Geiger,
you think you
y'all
got
had-
good
hey,
weight.
that was impressive, dude. Absolutely impressive.
We didn't answer the question, though, about the guy asking about crawfish, whether they go deep, if the water drops, or if it staying shallow.
Oh, Drew's question.
Drew's
Yeah,
question.
They have to. I mean, if the
Yeah.
water drops, they're going to move out deeper. And if it
They
comes
have
back
to.
up, they're going to move back up.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
So you got to
Yeah, they're-
remember that rain that comes brings a lot of nutrients, whether it's coming off the rocks or coming out of the back of a creek, wherever. And those fish, bait fish, are going to move up to get the nutrients.
Yeah.
The bass are going to follow.
And the crawfish, they got to feed on something. So that makes sense.
Something
We
else with
talked about
crawfish,
this.
if they get up there and start eating different stuff, they're going to change color.
Mm-hmm. They start eating on those dead leaves and everything.
Yeah.
They start turning dark.
Yeah.
So that's it. So
They're
that's
gonna
what
change
Shannon
color.
Gorman always said, that, the crayfish, you can almost tell their color by their diet.
Yep.
And even the ones that are really dark, it is all about their diet. And sometimes when they bury, that's when sometimes they'll get a little more of that red in them because of the clay.
Get some
They'll
orange
absorb
and
it in.
stuff
They'll
later in
absorb
the
it in their exoskeleton. Exoskeleton. Did I say that right?
Exoskeleton.
It sounded good.
It sounded right. So something like that.
Or-
No, it was not the Lanier smoke. And people, Farmer, would you be dragged? Oh, also, this is from Michael Temples.
He's
Listen.
he wants to know. He's
No, but-
asked it 3 times.
Yeah, but no, listen. Right. So listen up. But he also said when you made the comment, I bombed it out 140 feet. He goes, I don't even have enough line to bomb mine out. And listen, every time you guys talk about, I made that 200-foot cast, I'm sitting there thinking, I'm doing good to get it out there 65 feet. So
A
Well,
forward-facing sonar with a little graph on it will
Mhm.
let you know what your limitations are.
yeah,
real
and every
quick,
time
like-
I throw out,
and
it
it
says,
probably, like most men, are thinking that it's more than what they got.
listen, that's been the story of my life. Ask my wife. I've been lying to her for 30 years. Right there. She knows the truth, though. Farmer, would you be dragging that jig or popping it?
I'm dragging it
I
right now.
drag jigs
Drag
right
it.
now. Everything's
Most. All
dragging.
right. Another thing that killed me, and I have yet to get used to it with the forward-facing sonar. I have sped up since I've got it.
Right.
Yeah, I did too.
As most
I have
people do.
sped up, and it killed me Saturday because then I turned right back around and I turned it off and started doing what I was doing before that. Started catching fish again. I was fishing too fast.
So, Jonathan, are you talking about popping or dragging? Are you like just sweeping it
Yes,
slowly?
I'm
letting it go,
I'm literally going.
then let it
from-
soak, and then
I'm letting
sweep
it
a
hit
little
the
bit more.
bottom, and I'm pulling my rod to the side, and I'm counting
Exactly.
rocks with it as it dances across, and then I'll kill it. Let it sit there for 10 seconds, 15 seconds, then I'll pull again. But if I hit something, I'm going to give something away. I don't.
Come on, get some juice.
Here
Drop
comes
it,
some
baby.
sugar-free juice or sugar
Sugar-free.
juice.
We want the sugar juice.
If I hit something, the first thing I do, if it's different, I'm bumping along the bottom. It feels chunky, and then it just stops. Something bigger is right there. There's usually going to be a fish right there.
Right, hiding behind
Kill
that
it.
rock.
Kill it. Let the skirt do its thing. If you can't get them to bite when it's dead stick in it, pick your rod tip up to where you feel tension in your line and tip the bottom of your rod.
Just to get some vibration.
And make that thing quiver down there like this. And you'll usually just go thunk.
There you go. Dropping another tip right there.
Oh, yeah. I've got more bites sweeping it like that than I have ever hopping it.
Do that with shaky head too.
Yeah.
Yeah, shaky head's the same thing.
Definitely.
I mean,
yeah.
you're dragging that shaky head and you hit something.
Yeah.
It's different. Something on the bottom's different, which usually has a fish on it. And
look at that Trump shirt in the background right there.
yeah,
We got us a registered Republican back there
Look
for
at
sure. Yeah. Pull up Barday's comment because this is actually something kind of important we want to hit on too, everybody. Listen, there's a lot of problems with the docks on Allatoona. I think there's, on several pages you can see where guys have been trying to get the Corps to address the situation with the docks on Allatoona. Unfortunately, like Lanier, we're kind of blessed that even when the water's down, we still have a lot of big docks that you can get on, but they're few and far between on Allatoona. So there is a petition being signed, and I don't know all the ins and outs of everything, but I've heard there's been some people in the government now taking a look at the situation and all that. But if you could sign that petition, go online and hit that, put your name on it. I signed it to help these guys out at Allatoona. You fish Allatoona a little bit more, so you might can tell me.
Petition.
Barday, put, if you don't mind, in the comment.
Put the address up for sure.
that or put a link on the Fish North Georgia page. So.
Yeah, put a link somewhere because that is very important. And also, the Corps of Engineers is responsible, even if it's a county dock in a county park, they still have to get permission and kind of work with the Corps of Engineers as to what they can do, how far they can extend it, and all of that. So you've got two different kind of systems that have to get cohesive sometimes to get that dock moved.
Gatewood recently got a new dock, didn't they?
Yeah,
They
Gatewood
extended it.
They
Gatewood
extended
has a
it
brand
out into
new
the
dock.
water. Galt's needs one. Blockhouse needs
Victoria
one.
needs one.
Victoria's needs moved. Because
So-
when they drop the lake,
They shut the ramp down.
well, they shut the ramps down, and that tournament dock is
It's
out of
dry.
the water.
It's dry.
And
Most tournaments go on this time of year.
And I did see it on somebody's post. So again, Barday, if you don't mind, put that in the comment section so we can share it here, and then we'll post it on the Fish North Georgia page. But also too, you got to think about disabled anglers that want to get in a boat and all that, being able to have access. So that's actually, that's the only way that you take somebody in a wheelchair that wants to go fishing. Those docks are by far the easiest way for them to have access to the boat, unless they're putting the boat before somebody backs it down or something like that. So there's other things to think about other than it's just inconvenient for us that can have we have the mobility to do that. But somebody that's disabled, they have no recourse to that. There's nothing they can do.
No, they
So
don't.
you guys in the
Good point.
government, if you're watching, you better get your ass in gear on that.
Good point.
Dane says the new dock is still there at Gatewood. I hadn't been by there.
I don't know. Oh,
The
what's
old
up,
dock,
Dane?
the old dock's still there, yeah.
Is the old dock still there? Well, that's even better.
It's pretty much dry, but
Well, I'm sure it's sitting on.
well,
some
no,
dirt.
I'm sorry. The lake come up and it's 5 foot below full pool. So the old dock's out in the water.
Yeah,
right
they're
now.
like-
Yeah.
but it's still a situation that needs to be addressed because we hear about it every single year.
Yeah.
They've been dealing with that on Allatoona for a long time. Now, in the comment section, Philip Hutchinson has said several comments about the crawfish. You guys definitely go check that out because he's got some stuff about crawfish come up and they get what they can eat on the rocks, trying to scrape any of the vegetation. You done gone way too far up like that. So
Well, this thing's moving
right
fast.
there, it is moving fast. We got a lot of comments. Yeah, so crawfish target the stuff they can scrape off things such as rocks and sticks. That's what they're eating right there.
There we go.
Yeah, and then he also says the Chattahoochee crawfish is an endangered species, and it's easy to ID due to the orange-tipped claws and other body parts right there. So that's an interesting
So-
little fact right there.
It's
Does
the ones
anyone
we
know
see in
how
the
many
the gullets of the
species
fish all
It's
the
the-
time.
of crawfish
If the
are in
fish
Georgia
eat it,
waters?
we can't help it if the fish are chewing on it right
Right.
there. Michael Geiger also had a comment, and this is talking about how good Lanier is in that it's down a couple right there. I think the most impressive thing about Saturday, and again, this is Ball Ridge Marina area of Lake Lanier,
Wow.
is that they had over
Mhm.
7 spots weighing over 5 pounds weighed in.
Oh, they're getting big.
Oh, listen, right now, if you want to go catch a big girl this month and next month, I think is prime time.
I'm so afraid Lanier's about to take a dip south.
Ah,
As
but
good as it's fishing.
You
You
think?
know-
When does it
Here's the thing. We talked.
When does the size of the fish start to
I talked about that today with a guy.
take a turn for the
And
worse?
it might have been you. I can't remember. I talked to somebody about that. We were talking. It might have been with largemouth lakes. I think you get a lot more of the ups and downs and everything, but I don't think anybody's ever really watched a
I
spotted
was going to
bass
say,
lake.
are you basing this on past history of what good lakes have done and gone
Mhm.
down,
Mm-hmm.
and then 3 or 4 or 5 years start to come back up again?
Yeah.
I'm like you, Dan. I don't know what the spots will do, how
See-
it affects them.
See, I'm thinking
They're different
but
creatures.
I'm a largemouth
Yeah,
guy, heart, so I'm thinking largemouth lakes that
I am too.
go up here and peak, and you're like, this thing can't ever go bad, and then 2 years down the road,
Yeah.
you can't squeak out 8 pounds.
right. But I'm wondering if the spotted bass, just by its nature, because they'll outcompete. If it gets to that way, they'll outcompete the largemouth.
Mhm.
Largemouth are lazy,
Mm-hmm.
you know. But I'm just curious if that'll ever happen on a spotted bass lake. As long as the bait's there, I don't know. I don't know because we keep and now I do know that I've heard comments saying that right before a lake goes down, you have your biggest weights,
Mm-hmm.
and then the lake crashes. I've heard that from people in the past, so I'm really curious as to that. But it'd be interesting to see how it is with a spotted bass lake because Lake Lanier, even though it's got great largemouth in it, it's a spotted bass lake. So I'd be interested to watch it over the next few years like that. All right, guys, got a couple minutes. We're going to do the option question of the week. You guys get your Google fingers ready. You're going to need it. Kevin's got another fantastic question that I thought was a one-parter, but it's actually a two-parter, and there are 7 answers you got to have. 7 answers you got to have to
Whoa.
get this $50 off. So,
Glad I'm here tonight.
yeah, I
But
know.
they're easy. They're easy.
But it is a lot easier than the ones you've had the last couple.
Right.
Yeah, so we appreciate you being kind and gracious to
Now,
us.
the next one's got 7.
Oh, dear, bless your heart. So, hey,
So after you come back from your vacation, you're gonna hit us like double hard. Is that
Yeah,
what
you're
you're
not
saying?
Yeah.
yeah, next week,
We'll-
Kevin won't be here. We might have a one answer
We'll
question.
give you the question at the beginning of the show.
Yeah.
We're gonna get a
Okay.
picture like a cardboard cutout and stick it over there. I
Listen.
mean, so he's with us in spirit.
You know what? Kevin gets off on these questions. Like I really think like you got to grin like a shitty.
good
grin
at
on
it,
your
though.
face.
He likes
Yum
to,
yum.
He likes to watch people struggle. It's
He
just-
does.
Oh,
He
if
does.
you're sitting back here, looking at the comments when he goes with those questions, it's like if those guys were in the parking lot, some of them be scratching it out there because they're arguing.
They're
over who's
arguing
right
with it
and
like
wrong.
that. So Ron Swinford, I think we'll do this. Ron Swinford, since Kevin will not be here next week, Ron Swinford will be providing the question of the week. We'll give Kevin's a 1 week break and then let him come back and stump you.
There
when he
we
comes
go.
back. So
I like it.
we'll do that. So JP Vern, guys, for the Alatuna ramp situation, it's been posted on the FNG Facebook page, and I will make sure that I get it over to the group page right there.
Way to go, Jason.
There you go. So appreciate you guys utilizing our social media. We'll get that out there like that. So one more question before we do have the question of the week. Joshua Murphy wants to know, are we talking about reservoirs too? And I don't know if you're talking about the tactics that we're using, or if you're talking about we were talking about bass fishing going up and down. I would say if you're talking about tactics, Latham Reservoir, that is, to me, fishes exactly like a mini Lake Lanier because it's got spots and largemouth. It's deep, and it's got the blueback heron and a big population of threadfin in there. So anything that works on Lake Lanier right now, you can go over to Latham and replicate it. You just can. If you're a drop shot guy, that bite's there. If you want to beat the banks, it's there. Latham is a different breed. Now, I don't know about the rest of the reservoirs like Hickory Log because it just stinks anyway. But it is what it is. So, and Rocky Mountain, Tim, you fish Rocky Mountain a lot. How about right now with all this pre-spawn talk? Does that sound kind of like similar stuff you're seeing, or
Similar, but like those fish, they don't do the same as your normal lakes. They're always kind of behind, it seems to me.
You got that question pulled up?
I do.
Okay, so
Which
all right.
question?
All right, here we go, guys. So right now, for all you guitar players out there with the fast fingers, that's why I see several comments. Fast fingers, boys. Here you go. Now listen, this is the OpsonUSA.com right there. This is where the website is. You can go get this Opson fluorocarbon. And I'm telling you guys, I got it right here. It's pretty neat. It's a good product. and they're going to be they're working on. Right now, you can only get it on their website. They're working with a distributor right now so they can get it on the retail side. I plan on carrying it here at the store. It is a good quality line. And again, we want to support our companies here, even though they're in California. I ain't going to say too many bad things about California that I could, but that's where these guys are at. But, they're very easy guys to work with, and they want to make a quality product. You guys definitely need to check them out. And again, if you don't win this, you still can go to optionusa.com, type in FNG, and get 20% off. But if you get this question right, you get a $50 code. I owe you a code too. I got your code. You won 2 weeks ago. And if Surf Dad shows up, Surf Dad won last week, and I never got any contact information from Surf Dad. So
That's right.
if anybody knows Surf Dad, you need to tell him. He needs to hit me up. You can send me a messenger on Facebook, Danny Pruitt, and I'll get you your code. Now, there are 7 correct answers to this 2-part question. Correct? I'm right. So again, I'm going to tell you again, you guys, when you just put 1 or 2 answers, we will tell you if it's correct or not, but you're just helping out everybody else. There are 7. Kevin is going to be the judge since he's the only one that knows the right answers to all this. So listen, if it goes wrong, I didn't write it down. We'll write it down and give it to Tim.
I would say don't type them in the comments unless you have all 7 answers.
7. And if you don't like the question, it's Kevin's fault. Do not blame Danny.
It's always my fault.
It is your fault because I always gave easy questions that they got in like 10 seconds.
Yeah, they did.
They did. So here we go. This is the question of the week. Remember, guys, 2-part question. The first question has 4 correct answers. The second question has 3 correct answers. All right. Here we go. Kevin, the option question of the week.
All right. 2 questions. First question. What 4 states list the largemouth bass as their state fish? Question 2, what 3 states don't have a registered state fish as of 2023?
All right, so you guys got that. So what 4 states, the official state fish is the largemouth bass, or bass. And then there are 3 states in the union that do not have an official fish as of 2023. So we're going to keep the conversation going. You guys, I know we're going to have some people drop off because they're over there Googling like hell, but we're going to keep it going. And
you got a pen?
Hey, one of you guys in the gallery, throw me a pen over there. Kevin went and got a pen. So anyway, you need another one?
I need another one.
That's why we put that refrigerator out here, big dog, for access, easy access. So anyway, let's keep it. Good Lord. It's like Animal House.
Oh, they're busy over there.
They're busy. So anyway, what do you think of the conversation thus far, Tim?
It's going good. They're keeping me busy back here.
They are. A lot of good comments right now. Nobody's
A
commenting.
lot of y'all at home can't see it, but I got a lot going on back here. So if I kind of drift off, I'm
You're a busy,
or moving stuff.
busy. Okay, so Georgia, Mississippi, Alabama, Florida, and Indiana, Iowa, Ohio.
They got it.
Clint Bartlett Fishing. You win. Has he won already? Didn't he win?
He won once.
All right, but he didn't win it in consecutive weeks, right?
Nope.
So he gets it again. But let's just
my
see.
Gosh, that was fast.
Ann McGuire. Look at there. Did you send Ann the right answer?
I did not.
Tim,
I swear I did not.
Did you send your wife the answers ahead of time?
I can't. That's fast, honey.
I was typing them in. Good job. Bang, bang, Clint Bartlett. Again, Clint, I got your contact info, so I'll send you the
See, that was too easy.
But you know what? Listen, you got to have an easy one every once in a while.
He's like, don't worry.
Do you know what you guys have done by answering that question that fast?
You're going to get
He
screwed
is
in 2
going
weeks.
to dig deep
Listen,
and hit hard.
the next one's
time.
probably going to have some physics involved with it.
It's going to be bad.
This is absolutely – look, Ron, I was typing them in. And I will tell you this. If you're watching on Facebook and you want to try to win one of these questions of the week, I will tell you this. You need to do it on YouTube because if you're a guy on YouTube and you're a guy on Facebook and you type them in at the same time, YouTube always comes in faster. So there's your little tip from me like that. So again, Clint Bartlett, guys, we appreciate it. And I believe, have you ordered your Opson line from the last time, Clint? I'd like to know if you've already took that, or you're just going to wait to buy the whole company because you get all the answers right, and you're going to load up on it. So, all right. So again, so good job. Hey, listen, optionusa.com. You guys go over there and check them out. Thank you, Kevin, for the question again. like that. But you got to up your game, man. That was too easy.
I know it.
You got to up your game. I'm disappointed. I need some new fluoro. Blew my transmission in my truck this week. Well, with the price of line and all that, transmission, fluoro, you got to weigh your options, dude. That's just the way it is in the the fishing world right now.
Transmission's cheaper.
Transmission is cheaper for some good line. I tell you another thing, guys, in the shop, and I just got my shipment in today. You guys need to come up here and check out Cortland. All right, Cortland's well known in the fly fishing world, but they, for the last few years, have had some pros fishing some braid, doing some tests on braids, some well-named pros that I'm not allowed to say because it hasn't become official for them to come out. They've been doing it secretly behind the scenes, and they've released their own braid line, Cortland Braid. It's Master Braid, I believe is what it's called, and I've got some here at the shop, and it's not a bad price point, $19.95 up to 50 pound, and then 50 pound it jumps up to $22.95, and they're also were kind enough to for Electric Bass Opens be one of the sponsors for Electric Bass Open. So if you're a member of that series and you win a tournament, every winning team gets some braid at every one of the tournaments like that. So really cool stuff, and you guys need to come check that out. So Philip Hutchinson, obviously, some good trivia. Let's see, pop that up right there. Some good trivia on local hammers of bygone days would be nice. Well, hey, we can do that. So absolutely. Love repping Cortland myself. Fly line, braid, and leading material is awesome. Absolutely. Barday, I've been seeing answers on YouTube for 6-7 minutes before the question was asked. Barday, you just that slow, son. We know you don't know the answers to that. Your answer to everything's Picasso. Picasso. You'd probably put Picasso 7 times for them answers right there. So we might have, I think what we might do is we might need to have a question of the week, and then towards the end of the show have a like a participation question of the week like that. We might have to come up with an easy one like that. So let's get back to talking. Let's get back to talking about pre-spawn bass fishing. What do you do, Jonathan, in getting prepped from this time on as far as your mindset? You fish tournaments and with the ABA and all that, your mindset on going in, the changes that the fish are going to be doing. What are you starting to look for, and how does that affect your approach?
The first thing I look for is steady warm days.
Yeah.
We don't have a week of brutal cold like we got. Then it's going to be 60. Then it's going to drop back down into the 30s. I look for 2 to 3 weeks to be high 62 to high to 67. That tells me, all right, we're getting, well, that's past. Sorry. That's when it's good. What I'm really looking for is the daytime start getting longer.
Mm-hmm.
When the daytime starts getting longer, that's when I first start looking for them fish to put.
I think it has a bigger effect on them than anything.
Yeah, that was where I was getting ready to go. So do you think it's kind of almost like deer with the rut? A lot of people, old timers, used to think it was the weather, but now scientists have kind of proven it's the photoperiodism or whatever, the length of days.
Mm-hmm.
So you think fish have this built-in, bass have this built-in thing saying, okay, the days are getting longer.
The longer the sun's up, the warmer the water gets.
You got more sun.
You do. But is it the warming of the water, or is it the length of the day?
Combination of both.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Well, all right.
What pulls them out?
Like right now.
Yeah.
I avoid mud or cold, muddy water like the plague. I'm saying you muddy water, yoo-hoo.
Yeah.
You avoid it like the plague.
Why is that?
I mean, the fish are dormant in it.
They're going to try to find the warmest water they can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And cold, muddy water, your cold, muddy water is usually 2 to 4 degrees colder than your stable water that hasn't been blown out from rains.
Okay.
But once it stabilizes, muddy water warms up faster than clear water does. So
once
now,
it stabilizes.
All the
once it
particles,
stabilizes.
the mud
Particles in
particles,
there
that
hold
holds heat.
Yep.
Yeah.
So pre-spawn, that's why I hunt out dirty water, because you're starting to get the warmer temps.
So right now you avoid it.
I avoid it like the plague
right now. But as the days go on, you're going to start looking for more of that kind of water.
Well, after that cold rain we had, what was it? That rain that come in
Tuesday.
Blew out Lanier, the north end. I mean, turned it to yoo-hoo. Has turned Altoona from Kellogg up to just chocolate milk.
Right.
that was a cold rain. That water temp dropped down almost to the 30s or the 40s or low 40s.
Really got that cold?
It got that cold. And you go down the lake where it cleared up a little bit, and it was 46, 47. So you had 5 degrees difference. It had shut those fish up in the river down in this dirty water.
That moving water's colder too.
Yeah. Real quick, first, Robert Robleski, Jonathan Farmer's a hammer.
I had to pull that one up.
Yeah.
Listen, but
Jonathan's fan
Don't
club
blow
here.
smoke up my hind.
But listen, Robert's jumping back into the NPFL, and their season's getting ready to kick off. So, Rob, you know we love you down here at F&G, and so
We're gonna be
good luck to
watching.
you. And yeah, we're gonna be watching you and Will and all the guys there jump in that. So, looking forward to seeing that. There was also a comment for somebody that doesn't have Facebook, and this is a Stephen Barday. Barday. Now that I see it, you can quit talking now. He don't want you giving up too much of that sugar juice, not the sugar-free stuff. But also, Barday, while you're at it, got a fella on here that doesn't have Facebook. So if you guys can tell him where to find that out. I think JP Vern outside mentioned it too. Okay, I just want to make sure if someone doesn't have Facebook, how they can find the petition. So as long as we got that. It was 41 degrees Saturday morning. So, wow, that is really, really cold. Yeah, right there, Michael Temples. Pull up right above that.
Thanks for telling me that. I ain't going in Gainesville High Cove anytime soon. Then,
Had a sewage spill.
well, they got the cramp pipe that goes right over, or comes out of the bank, goes right over the water.
And it spilled?
I'm guessing it burst.
Wow.
Evidently so.
I bet them crawfish are up there just having the time of their life, though. It's a
Yeah.
buffet, man. We get a bunch of cold, muddy water in the early spring. Pull that back up real quick. Say, what if that's the only thing I can fish? Just fish shallow or change color. Okay, Jekyll Productions, appreciate you jumping in tonight with that comment right there, bud. Okay, so right now, if somebody's lake or body of water is muddy, what are their options?
North facing pockets.
North-facing pockets.
It's going to warm up faster than any part of the lake.
And docks too.
No, your black floats.
Docks,
Yeah.
yeah.
Black
okay.
floats. All right, I know pretty much everybody's got temperature on their graphs.
Right.
All right. If you go put your trolling motor straight up against a black float and let it read, it'll climb up 1.5 degrees, 2 degrees.
Really?
That black float holds so much heat and radiates that those fish will actually, and well,
It's like a little heater.
Yeah,
me and you went to Notley right after a brutal cold rain,
it was.
and it blew Notley out.
It did.
And we fished, weren't catching anything, and then we started going to docks,
They were there.
and they had pulled up under them floats sunning.
They did.
They'll do that on a wooden dock too because of the
Oh, yeah.
structure. When it's muddy, they want to be up against something.
It was really weird because that's the first time I'd ever been on Notley. And we tried the river first. And it was muddy. You did catch 1 or 2 on a crankbait, I think.
But it was
not what you wanted.
No, and we went back down, and it was still muddy as all get out when we went back down. But we pulled into one of my favorite places, and I'll be darned if I didn't look under there. And I said, "Look, there's a 4-pounder sitting under that float."
Sitting there.
And then I handed him my rod, and he threw at it. It ate, and he lost it.
Yeah, that was the okay. So that was the infamous. We're gonna explain that again. That was the infamous upside down spin reel incident on Notley. Yeah. So listen. So I tried to skip. I had a bait caster, and I'm terrible at skipping. So I tried to skip under this dock to that fish, and I blew my bait caster out. And Jonathan threw me an open face. I just opened the bail up and I chunked it up under there, set the bail, watched the fish, and then I set the hook, and then I looked, and his reel's on the left hand. I cannot reel with my left hand. Dude, I was panicking. I turned that joker upside down and started reeling like this, and I fought it, and it got off. Jonathan's sitting up on the front of the boat, and I looked at him, I said, "Don't you ever tell a soul." Remember, that's what I said.
I just sat down at the bottom of the boat and just did this.
I said, "Don't you tell a soul," like that. But I cannot. My brain is wired different than most people. My left hand, I write with it, I throw with it, I pull a bow back with my left hand. I cannot reel a fishing reel with my left hand. I do everything, bait caster, spin reel, everything with my right hand. It just does not translate to my brain. I know you're looking at me like I'm crazy. So
I'm not.
Listen, I did the card.
He is too.
Listen. Look at him. He is. His ass is lying. But I turned that joker upside down. I look like somebody ain't never fished for their life, and I'm reeling.
I'm just thinking.
It was a big fish.
It was a good one.
I'm just thinking anybody that goes fishing with you needs to wear a GoPro.
They do.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
There's a lot of
absolutely.
stuff that there needs to be a GoPro on.
Oh yeah, I'm just a walking comedy show in the boat. But it wasn't a 2-pound fish, was it?
No, it was.
It was that.
I
One
would
of the
say
big
at
girls.
the smallest, it was 4.5 pounds,
Yeah,
and that was in muddy water. So
it was a weightless wacky rig, wasn't it?
Mm.
And I just perfect.
well, the way they were set up under the docks, I mean, you could put anything in front of their face, they were going to follow it. But the weightless, the wacky, you put it in front of it, just they'd nose down on it and just suck it in. Well, we were catching one right after another off. We go down a line of docks.
Well, you would.
Catch 8 or 9 off that line of docks. I literally crank the motor, go back to the start, and go back down it again and catch 8 or 9 off the docks. They were just stacked under them. Well, I think you broke your wacky off your rod,
Yes,
and I was like, there's a big one here.
and
I threw it
Yeah,
because I could just see it silhouette underneath that dock and under muddy water. And I was like, 4.5 pounds. Here, he threw it up there, and when that mouth opened up, it was bigger than 4.5 pounds. It was
a nice one,
It was a
dude. I'm
grown
reeling
one.
like a daggum. I got words that I could say that would get me banned right now.
Now I'm
would-
looking at you.
Now you look at it.
it was a grown one.
You do what you got to do when you got to do what you got to do.
Learn to reel left-handed.
I know it. And since then, I have gotten to where I can reel. I have forced myself to try to do it. But at the time, I just could not do it. And so, but I did. Jonathan and I remained friends, which says he's a good, loyal friend because he seen me do the cardinal sin, and he didn't make
And he said he'd never tell a soul until you got on the podcast.
Well,
Now
you know what?
everybody
He didn't.
knows.
I said it that way. I can,
I
Get it out
I
there.
didn't tell a soul.
I came out of the closet.
Whoa.
I reeled the spinning reel upside down, boys. All right, there you go.
It can be done.
It can. Well,
The cardinal sin of fishing.
I did it in Port St. Joe too on the
I
Real
saw.
American Road trip.
I saw.
His reel was rusted. I couldn't get the thing to switch over. I tried my best. So anyway, hey, listen, there ain't no shame in my game.
Heck no.
We talked about wearing thongs before the show.
Bar day, you know how to catch them anywhere you go, so you don't need me to teach you
Listen
anything.
like that. Jekyll Production. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you. See y'all at Noe and Cartersville. Hopefully, I don't know. We'll see what's going on with that right there. At one time, the Arc Rod guys had asked me to work their booth. I don't know if he's still expecting me to do it or not. So we might do that. Dark bottom bays and rocky cover with crankbaits and spinnerbaits do well during times like that early in the spring. They like a bright crankbait in the mud. So he did ask about colors.
I was
Oh,
going to
yeah.
say he was asking about thick, muddy water,
Thick,
and we
muddy
gave
water.
him everything, but you're going to have to choose your colors wisely for them to be able to see it or feel it in that water one way or the other.
Is it more about the color or is it more about the bait and the vibration? You look like you got to pee. You want to
No,
answer that. So let's go. Drop some.
Pre-spawn.
He's
I'm
not
gonna
wanting to
have
tell this
one
is
of-
what it is.
Yeah, I'm gonna have one of 2 colors tied on.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so I'm gonna guess one.
Okay,
Ooh.
It's gonna be something like a DT6 and that demon.
Mm.
DT8 and Demon.
DT8 and demon.
Mm.
The DT8 and Demon, because the DT8's the same size as the 6, but you get 2 more feet out of it.
Okay, so I
But-
nailed that one.
If you got your rod zing right, you can get a DT8 to 10 foot.
Right.
And the other one is I'm actually fishing a square bill.
A square
Mhm.
bill. Like a
And-
frit side kind of bait, or
I'm a big all right.
Come on.
Dane is going to kill me
Yeah,
when
but
I say this.
Hey, Dane signed
Because-
off a while ago. He said goodnight and everything. So
Because
lay it out.
I-
He won't know it for a while.
no evidence.
I showed him, and it's a well-known bait, but not many people throw it this time of year. It's the river to sea biggie. Okay.
I thought you was gonna
About
say a
2.5 inches,
daggone.
isn't it?
Yeah, it's about almost 3 inches, but it's got a really hard knock in it. Boy,
Jordan Cooper. I was an avid listener until I heard this sorcery.
yeah.
He's talking about me reeling, I think, upside down. I get it, dog. I get it 100%. So it was. So say that bait again.
It's the river to sea biggie.
I
Okay.
was just gonna say a whopper plopper. But I was
Hell
like,
no, it's not a water.
thank you. I'm glad.
You notice how Danny got him to say that twice. Y'all took notes, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. I get it.
The river to sea biggie in their cold-blooded color.
Cold-blooded color right there.
It is. It's a
Look at
red.
Derek
it's-
over. Look
He's
at
like,
Derek
dang
over.
it,
Yeah.
farmer.
Yeah.
Dang it.
Dang it is a nice way of what he's really thinking.
Yeah.
Oh, Surf Dad's here. Pull up Surf Dad real quick so before I forget. What's up, everyone? Damn cold and rain. Can't wait for it to end. Surf Dad, hey, I need you to reach out to me on Facebook, on Messenger, and give me your contact information so I can send you your code that you won last week. If you've done, he ain't won one yet, has he?
Who, Surf Dad?
Yeah,
Not that
I don't think so.
Just
so yeah,
last week.
just last week. So I need to give you your option code for your $50 off from last week. So hit me up on Facebook if you got it. Just message me at Danny Pruitt, and I'll get it to you, dog. Appreciate you joining us tonight. Okay, now say it one more time. It was
Cold-blooded.
cold-blooded.
It is a dark red, but it is a translucent bait.
Okay,
Translucent?
It's translucent.
I was getting ready to say
Muddy water?
muddy water. He's gonna but has it got rattles?
It's got one knocker. It's got a big knocker in it.
That's me. That's my nickname.
Well,
Big knocker.
all right.
Kevin,
I'm
I
looking at you again.
like to make you as uncomfortable as I can.
The
I'm not
reason-
uncomfortable.
Look at him grin though.
He does, because you know what he's saying. He's like, I know better.
The reason
I know
I'm throwing
better.
a translucent,
Shit, shit,
the reason I'm throwing translucent,
Why?
a square bill's got so much thump and action to it as it comes through the water.
Yeah.
They're hitting at the vibration. They're not hitting the bait. I'm just throwing a shade of red in there so they think, oh, there comes a crawfish through here. Here comes something through here. I got to attack it. What was it? 2 years ago when we were up on Notley, and I ended up having a co-angler with me. And I had 16 pounds and he had 15 pounds. Literally halfway through the day, and I'd caught like 20 to his one. I go here and I throw the square bill back to him. The first cast he catches a 560 something with it. Is when the water's dirty and warming, if you can find dirty water that's 2 to 3 degrees warmer than the surrounding water, all those fish are going to be right there. Crash to the bank.
Okay, there you go. Another tip,
Bro's
Jonathan.
going to run out of.
Huh?
Bro's going to run out of that bait now.
Is that what?
It's a river to
River to
sea.
sea.
River
River to
Sea.
sea.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, and
yeah.
Dane's gonna be lighting his phone up tomorrow when he catches wind.
I can't believe, Jonathan, you told him that.
That is what it is.
It is what it is.
I'm getting. I
can't-
haven't released it yet, but I'm getting out of tournament fishing for the foreseeable future until my kids get grown. So
Yeah, so like that. Yeah.
I'm not
You and
worried about it.
You and I have had that conversation. So hey, listen, you're not the only person that ever had to do that. Scratch Fishing wants to know when you said north facing.
Mhm.
Okay, so he's got a question
Yeah,
mark.
we need
North
clarification on
facing.
that. I
Bank is
guess.
on the south side with the north to your back, or what? What's your orientation to a north facing bank?
You fishing north base.
All right.
So
If you're sitting there facing straight north, okay,
Mhm.
that bank straight in front
Go
of
to
you.
the bank.
Yeah,
The
south
when the
is to your
sun
back.
comes up right now, it's gonna be at your back.
Yeah, sun's gonna be to your back.
What is it? It comes up in the southeast right now.
It's a little off. It ain't as high as like during the summer.
Yeah, and yeah, just
straight out of north.
straight north.
A
That
ba-
bank.
a
Wherever
bank
the
is
most
gonna-
sun is shining. It's
It'll
just
shine there the longest of the
And,
day.
well, you'll see it first thing in the morning too. As the sun comes up, it's going to be your first banks that get hit.
Yeah.
As soon as the sun starts topping the trees, it's going to be the first banks that get hit
Okay.
because they're going to be in the sun all day long.
So they're going to be a degree or two warmer than your
Mhm.
south stuff. Studio and lighting looks great. Happy New Year, bros. Same to you.
Is that background not off the chain?
Look at that.
Look at
It's
that.
amazing. Josh did a lot of work on that. So there's mood lighting. We're actually throwing a rave here after the show. So if you guys want to get in some of that techno music and bring your ecstasy, and we'll come on up here and we're going to party, boys, like that. I'm just kidding. Let's see. Surf Dad also had a question. When do you think the respawn will start on Allatoona this year? Second week, February-ish. So kind of, I mean, that's kind of like getting what we've been talking about. It's getting there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You're
No,
laughing.
I was laughing. Yeah, I'd give you just enough to hang yourself. That's usually what I do.
Oh, right there. Also want Michael. We've been talking about that, Surf Dad. So anytime between now, once we get, you said kind of when we get some full days of sun as the days get longer, we get. Some
Well, I look with this week coming up. I actually look for a lot of fish to push shallow because we're going to have 4 days of straight rain
Yeah.
and the highs is the 60s. Baxton
warm
creeks
rain.
are going to be 5 to 9 degrees warmer than the main lake is.
If you're
Yeah,
out
it's
there.
going to be like we talked
Warm
about
rain
earlier.
coming
They're
in.
going to move up a little bit, and then all of a sudden everything changes. They're going to come back. So it'll be a constant.
I
up and
look
down.
for your back, your morning bite in the back of the creeks to look
And
better
then the
than
following week, it
anything.
turns cold again.
Yep.
Yeah, that's just Georgia right here in the winter. Michael Temples want to know what speed reel you throwing your cranks on.
I actually reel mine on pretty fast stuff. 6.8 to 1, 7.3 or 7.1 to 1, 7.3,
Mhm.
because you can always slow down.
Yeah,
Can always speed up. Like most guys deep crank with a 5.4 or something like that. You're just sitting there and you're trying to speed up as fast as you can go, and most you can speed up is what the gear ratio does, or just a little bit higher.
I got you.
I even throw my deep cranks on a 7.3 to 1.
Really?
Mhm.
So you're a little bit faster than some guys that drop down to the 5.4s.
I like to speed crank.
speed crank. Okay, that makes
I
sense.
like to make a reaction. I'll blow it by that school of fish to see if I can get it fired up. Or now with forward facing sonar, I can look out and see a ball of bait and there's fish under it.
Yeah,
I can fire that crankbait out there that dies 15, 18 foot and blow it through that ball of bait just as fast as I can get it to go, and blow it through it, make that bait ball disperse. When them fish are doing this, what happened? There's a bait sitting right there.
because it's out. Because everything went that way, and there's that one bait just sitting
Yeah.
in solid.
Yeah, it's just in their face, and it's an aggressive strike, and it's like a reaction. They're going to hit it.
We learned so much on this show right there. What do you think right there? Will we be at NOE Expo in February? Not as a company, but you never know, might show up. And if I am, you make sure you come say hello right there. So, Van Halen. Yes, that's right. Listen, Sammy H needed to stay solo. No Van Hagar. Listen, the right answer to all of your Van Halen questions, whether you're a David Lee Roth guy or a Sammy Hagar guy, is Eddie. That's the reason you listen to Van
Right.
Halen.
They always go down the wrong road with that.
Yeah, it's Eddie. Eddie is the right answer to everything. Speaking of square bills, that dang OG Rocco is killer. Lord. LA, Lord. I love that crankbait.
You always count on Jeremiah.
Jeremiah probably owns every damn bait in the world.
Any of the Ott's Garage lines of crankbaits they're top notch.
Okay, let me ask this question. If you had to pick what is the best crankbait company out there right now? You only get one. And I'll ask you that too, Kevin. You throw crankbait some, don't you?
Yeah.
Okay, so, and then Tim, I'll ask you that. One company to buy their crankbaits for the rest of your life. What is it? What are you buying?
Who's going first?
I know what I'm buying, only because there's only one crankbait I throw because I hate crankbaits, but I'll throw a Spro rock crawler. I like Spro. I don't like not that I don't like it. I don't throw their deep diving stuff, but I love a rock crawler. So that's
diving stuff's good. I'd
yeah.
have to go with Spro.
You would go with Spro? Okay.
I'm torn between Spro because Spro has such a wide spectrum of crankbaits.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can go from 2-foot divers all the way down to 25-foot divers.
They're 25-foot divers, though.
They're huge.
They're big.
They're huge. The only other one that I think that might outdo it would be the Rapalas because of the balsa.
You like the
I
Rapala?
love a balsa bait.
Is it Rapala or Rapala?
Either.
That's a good question. I guess
Because I know
tomato.
I know all the
Rapala.
Yankees and Alabamians say crappie, and it's crappy. Then we have it right here in Georgia.
It's
What-
Rapala.
Rapala?
That's why I hear.
Is that the way the Europeans say it? Have you thrown the Rapala?
Hey, Kevin, don't they in Florida they
The Rapala. I saw the Rapala as the trout.
Yep.
The
In
Rapala.
Florida? What?
In Florida, they call crappie specks, don't they?
Specs.
Mhm.
Specs.
They're specs. And they're sac-a-lait in Louisiana. Or
But-
sac-a-lait or something like that.
So, yeah.
Them French people over them Cajuns.
You can't just have one bait company, though. I'm sorry.
I'm just saying if
Because
you could.
the 5XD has its place.
Yeah, but it's great.
As soon as summer gets here.
5 or 6. Yeah.
Yeah,
I put a 5XD or 6XD and I deep crank with it because it's got the widest kick of any deep diving crankbait.
I get it. But that wasn't my question. You only can pick one. I said Spro. He said Spro. Tim, what is your answer?
Berkeley Money Badger.
You like a Berkeley Money Badger. There you go. Okay, so
Berkeley makes some good crankbaits.
Yeah, that
too.
Money Badger.
you're the only one hedging over
It
here. where
ranks
I
right
like
out
them all.
a Money Badger and
I
a
like
rock
them all.
crawler.
That wasn't my question. You got to pick one.
Because of the spectrum, I would take Spro.
Okay. All right. That's good.
Just because of the spectrum.
I get it.
Because I can go from ultra shallow to deep. with
Okay,
it.
I get it. I wanted to put you on the spot.
Mm.
And you hedging over there sandbagging, coming up with 3 or 4 different companies.
Well,
And it was like it was a specific question. I said, name one bait.
What,
one,
Rappler's
one
only about 20 feet deep, aren't they?
Yeah, 20 footers, I think, is the deepest they got. And they got the DT series, but once you get out of the DT series.
Look at like he's in pain right now.
Well, I mean,
he's like
all right,
torn emotionally.
You-
Like we're gonna
you
have counseling
cannot-
after the show with him.
in pre-spawn, you cannot not have a SR5 or an SR7 tied on from Rapala.
Suspending, yeah.
You
I'm not,
Shad Rap?
I know, but that wasn't
the original shad wrap.
question. But that wasn't the question.
Hey, Danny, I think he's give up enough sugar juice. His sugar levels are low. That's
Is
why
that what he is?
That's why he's looking funny
Somebody
over
get the
there.
man a
We
candy
may have to
bar.
get him some a candy bar.
He needs a Snickers. He's got the Betty White going on right now. Go down the Landrum right there. That looks like a question right there behind that cover. Who shot that nice buck over your right shoulder? My business partner, Josh, who's in the background over in the back, who's now beaming with a big head and pride, shot that as the crow flies, probably about, what do you say, Josh, 8 or 9 miles from here? 8 or 9? He shot that. Josh has got a horseshoe up his ass. Listen, that shot, it's a very nice, it's a beautiful buck, but that is a Dawson County buck that he shot with a bow because according to Josh, the only way to kill anything is with a bow. Only men hunt with bows. But he shot that with a bow, 2 years ago? 2 years ago. So, yeah, it's a hell. But let me tell you something. His wife won't let him hang it at the house. That's why we got it here right there. So, he's a man that hunts with a bow, but his wife won't let him hang his deer at the house. So, that's why it's up here at the shop. So,
And thank you for noticing the lovely background.
it is. Don't it look good, though, that camera like that? So, yeah. So, anyway, Josh shot it. It's a very, it's a very beautiful buck. I encourage you to come up here to the shop and take a look at it right there. So, Surf Dad, 50 to 53 water temp. Allatoona is close to pre-spawn for me up in the creeks. It's getting about that time. And then let's say absolutely 8-5-1 Tony Collum. How you doing? The how-to hero. Yeah, so I think we're talking now. Eric Crowley, I pull my cranks with 150 mercury. That's got the most striper and walleye guy right there. So I get it. Danny, anyone going to be at the shop Saturday? Yes, I will be here from 8 to 12. And correction, Jeremiah says, I only own half the baits in the world. The best crankbait company is Spro, by the way. So another vote for
Spro is good.
Mike Temple, Spro. Joey Metcalf,
Their
Spro.
prices tell you they're good. Spro. They're not the cheapest.
Well,
No.
you get what you pay for. You get what you pay for. We can go up. Have you tried one of them crankbaits from Walmart?
No.
One of them. What is that? What is that Walmart brand called?
Lucky Strike.
Huh?
Ozark Trail.
Ozark Trail.
Yeah.
I can tell you about their damn rain suits. They don't work. I can tell you right there. I don't know about their crankbaits, but their rain suits are trash.
We don't talk about those crankbaits.
Oh, let's see.
You keep stuff like that. So if somebody's with you and you're like, hey, you got another one of those? Yeah, man. Here.
Look,
Have
so,
that.
so Eric Crowley, it's Rapala.
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 Raw.
It's a
Paul.
He
Rapala,
can say it
dude.
the way he wants to.
You can- I'm telling you, where was
I
Rob?
mean, this is the salmon conversation all over again.
Yeah, there's several things like that. Yes, there's
Potato.
no, what's it? Pecan or pecan?
Pecan.
It's a pecan pie to me, man. What do you say?
Pecan.
You sure you ain't got no Yankee in you?
Not a bit.
Not a bit. You do eat grits, right?
I ate a lot of
I
grits.
know you do. I'm just wondering.
Cheese grits.
We better not catch
I
you with
love
cream of
cheese
wheat.
grits. You don't put sugar on your grits, do you?
Hell no.
Do you put sugar on your grits? Listen, y'all know Slick Johnson with the Alabama Bass Council on TikTok. You ever follow him? That joker puts sugar on his grits. He's
We
from
all
Alabama.
can't be perfect.
Sugar on it, and he will. And listen, and he defends it. He defends putting sugar on his grits.
Alabama.
How?
Clue.
Huh?
How does he defend it?
He got on a TikTok one day. They sitting at a Waffle House, and he made a TikTok because he TikToks everywhere he goes. And guys, seriously, he's pretty entertaining. If you're on TikTok, follow Slick Johnson 23 or the Alabama Bass Council. He's sitting there, and they were putting sugar on it. He put sugar on his grits, and all the guys were sitting around looking at him like, "What are you doing?" And he went on a rant about it. So, which one of those crankbaits do we not talk about? The Norman DD cranks?
Mm-hmm.
Norman, listen, I think Norman and even some of the Bagley baits that nobody talks about, you still can catch a lot of fish on them jokers.
Absolutely. I mean,
Absolutely. The
those
Normans,
right there catch
they do.
fish.
Well, still, when nobody mentioned Strike King either. And yet they have the biggest spread of crankbaits in any tackle store you go
The
in.
only
true.
thing
They
I
do.
don't have was the only cuss I have with Strike King is you don't know if you're going to get a bait that runs true or not out of the pack. You have to tweak every one of them.
Oh, Sheffield showed up. I pop in. I finally pop in and I see Farmer telling lies. What's new? Listen. He's been very good today, Ryan.
We've got
He's
him
giving a
drunk,
lot
buddy.
of
He's
juice.
spilling juice left and right.
He's been participating of the Etowah Mead Beer and Wines 1833 tonight.
It's lit up in
He
here.
is lit. He's not. I'm
If
just
it,
joking.
only took, if it
That's
took
fast.
2 to get me there, I'm a treat drunk.
You're
Apparently,
a big boy. You're a big boy, so I'm sure it takes a few. Rapala. That's that's going to be what nobody's going to take a damn thing.
You can
away.
always
All the
count
fish
on
tips.
Jason. Rapala.
Yeah, nobody's going to worry about anything tonight except how to say Rapala.
Jason fishes with me all the time. So
Is
y'all
that
are
what it
wondering
is?
who that is.
Yeah.
That's the burn.
But Storm Wigglewort's a good one right there. Surf Dad. I wouldn't bank. Oh, that was Danny. Appreciate the monthly sack. Hey, it was a good one, wasn't it? You got it too. The monthly.
I did.
You did. So
I told you it was a great.
it was a good one. I had to make up for December and January, but it was an absolute good one. So I put some thought into that one.
I gave it to my neighbor.
Did you really?
No.
You liked it that much, Santa? But I did
Well.
notice that before I sent out. So guys, for you don't know, listen, you can subscribe on our YouTube channel. We have 3 different subscription levels. So $4.99 is just you like what the heck we do and you just want to support the channel, and we appreciate you guys to do that. There's people to do that. For $9.99 a month, you get members only content, which includes fishing reports. And one thing that I'm getting ready to do is really up that game. Ryan does them every time that he goes fishing, but also I'm working with guys on here's my goal is I'm trying to get guys on every single lake in Georgia, but I'm starting off with North Georgia that are going to give me reports of what they're actually biting, and then we're going to give you that information. But that's for members only. And then $49.99, you get that, plus you get a box of baits every month, and we try to do those baits that what will be good during that time frame of the month coming up. So, but I laughed because you said I ain't never caught nothing on a fire crawl, and I sent out a fire crawl slobber knocker, and I started laughing. You said I ain't never caught crap on a fire crawl. I'm like,
have.
dang. Well, you will now. You got to fish that slobber knocker. You got to give it a shot. It might work. You never know. But again, if any of you guys want to join that, you can go.
Grass.
Yeah, they're good. Well, you can go and subscribe. And again, we're also going to be doing some other things coming up in the near future that I haven't told you about. But we're working out the details on a buyer's club kind of thing where you get some very killer discounts on tackle. And also, when we put out a video, we're going to try to start doing this and work it in where members only gets to see the videos before the general public and all that. So those are kind of the things that we're doing. So you guys, I encourage you to subscribe. It's a great way to support the channel, and it helps us grow and give you some better content. We just got a lot of stuff planned in 2024. You guys are going to love that stuff. So let's get right back on it. Ryan did say the deep little N and big little N from Norman and the DD22.
Mm-hmm.
So those are good ones.
I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, the DD, the deep little end, or the deep whatever little end has a real skinny bill. It comes out and real narrow. I love that for speed cranking. That's why the Megabass 300X is good for it. I'm pretty sure River C's got one that the tactical boys do. It's that tactical shad that they've got. It's got right now. I want something that's got a tight wobble, but gets deep quick, and I can speed crank. If you get a bait that comes out and has that big U at the bottom,
right?
It's digging too much.
But with the rock crawler, you wanted to dig, right?
Yeah, but I'm fishing it on bottom. Speed cranking, I don't have to touch bottom.
You just try to hit that bait ball and
I can be over 70 foot of water.
I got what you're saying.
Throwing a 15-foot diver over 70 foot of water.
Right. Okay. All right. So pull. Let's see. Good Lord, there's so many comments. I don't even know.
Yeah, it's all I can do to keep up.
It
with
is
them.
that you guys have been awesome tonight.
Which is
I tell you
great.
what, you guys drive the show, so it's good. Ryan said put a green pumpkin, big bite kamikaze at the back, Kevin. So he was answering somebody else's question right there. So appreciate you doing that. And again, sometimes you guys in the comment section get your own conversations going, and that adds to it, don't it, Tim? Makes it fun.
There is some good stuff sometimes when I'm reading these comments coming up.
I'm bad about that.
Yeah, no, it's pretty cool. So so we're talking crankbaits a lot with this pre-spawn stuff. Now I know you mentioned, Kevin, you like throwing a spinnerbait this time of year. You listed refresh my memory on your
Rattle
list.
trap, crankbait, spinnerbait, and jig.
Okay, but other than the jig, you're going for reaction bite on all of them.
Yes.
Okay, what?
The jig, I'm gonna throw around rock and docks.
Okay, that's what I was going to say. So where are you targeting with the jig, slowing down? So structure.
Mm-hmm.
So
And I'll throw it with grass if you can find it. But usually any grass has been beat to hell.
right.
Oconee and Sinclair.
Yeah.
So
Okay, Tim. What about you? Let me let you jump in the comments for a section. What are you throwing this time of year? And
I'll
also,
throw,
you need.
I'll throw a spinnerbait all times of the year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
While I got you with that camera on your pretty face, I always tell you, make sure you shout out your social media real quick. So go ahead and throw your
Oh,
stuff
if
out.
anybody wants to follow my shenanigans, just T_McGuire Outdoors on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Not hard to find on any of that.
I
Yeah.
watch his stuff to find fishing holes on Altoona.
Yeah, farmer finds fishing holes.
You fish Alatoona a lot. So that's good, though, because we can't get them Alatoona boys to talk.
Man,
That's
them guys are tight-lipped. They don't tell you
tight-lipped.
anything.
tight.
Tell you nothing at all.
That's funny. Let's see, right there at the very bottom, Darian Moss. Can we stop talking crankbaits before I get online and go broke in about an hour?
Hey, welcome to the club,
listen,
buddy.
it is.
It's not an hour; it's 15 minutes.
Yeah, but we ain't got much time left on this. But I tell you what, though, that's seriously. I'm not a crankbait guy. I don't like throwing crankbaits that much. But this time of year, I will always have one tied on. Now it's a Spro rock crawler most of the time. I will throw the Rapala DT6 or DT8. I'll throw that a little bit, but I'm going for that shallow, like on Lanier. I'm hitting rocks where I see like exposed rocks and stuff. I like bringing that stuff kind of down through that. But again, other than a crankbait, he throws a jig a little bit. What do you throw other than crankbaits? Because this has turned into a crankbait show. But the jig,
Crankbaits are
Yeah,
hard.
we
to
went
beat
down a
on
crankbait
Prespawn.
rabbit hole.
they're hard. They're hard to beat. I get it.
this time of the year.
This time of the year, it's hard to beat. But for those that don't like throwing crankbaits, I don't think you can beat a jig right now, especially if you're going after big girl. But what about you? What are you throwing this time of year other than that?
Jigs, spinnerbait, chatterbait.
How are you just doing his list?
No, he didn't have a chatterbait.
Yeah, he did.
No, I had spinnerbait.
What was
I
that?
have chatterbait, but I
You
just
do
gave
throw a
it forward.
chatterbait if
No.
you like a
Are you
chatterbait.
throwing the jig after the sun really comes up a little bit, and warms the water up, starting
But
moving baits before?
I'm power fishing a jig.
Yeah.
I'm what they call stroking a jig. Yeah. Don't start.
It's a real term.
I'm still trying
Yum
to get,
yum.
Yum,
Yum
yum.
yum.
Parental
Yum,
consent's advised.
What'd
if
you
I
say,
pi-
Kevin?
if I pitch up in a lay down and I drag that jig up to the limb and stop it, if they don't pick it off that limb, when I pop it loose, I pop it and pop it one more time hard, make it look like it's trying to
Getting
run away,
Yeah.
and they'll eat it as it starts to drop back down. Same thing with around rock piles or docks. Don't even
Gets that
start
core
with
strut.
Danny.
So you stroke your jig and you like to
Mhm.
pop it and pop it.
That's a big thing on the Tennessee River.
I bet it is in
This is
Tennessee.
getting worse by the minute.
Yeah, I know.
I'm sorry. Oh man, okay, I'm sorry. Lord forgive me. Okay, but all right, so let's say somebody hates throwing jigs, because I get a lot of customers that come up in the shop and they're like, I can't fish a jig. I just
There's a lot of people that just like, man, I can't catch anything.
can't
on
catch
you."
anything on a jig. I don't like the way it feels. I feel like I've heard terms like I feel like I'm dragging grass, just mush. Give me an alternative to the jig. I would throw a shaky head, but I mean, it's a shaky head.
Hard head. I'd throw a hard head.
Okay.
The
Wobble head?
wobble
Like
head.
a wobble head. Like
Yeah.
a wobble head. Okay.
Now y'all getting into my secret juice.
You like the wobble head? Do you
You-
really seriously like it? Because I don't talk to too many guys that throw it.
That's good.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm
I will
saying.
come behind you and catch your fish on a wobblehead.
Look
A
at
wobble head will eat
look
it.
I'm not even going to read the comment, but you can pull it up. North Georgia Pump Company.
What is this?
He's right in the middle right there.
Whoa.
That's old Michael Keeney, I believe, right there. You see it? Oh, yeah, you guys in the comment
Say
section.
stroke it.
Stroke.
Stroke it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not me tonight, man. It's everybody like that.
Am I
So
pronouncing that right?
you are. Well, I guess in French it's stroke it.
Okay.
Stroke it. Stroke it. I'm gonna take French just to learn how to say. I'm
See,
gonna
look,
learn
Ron-
a foreign language just so I can say dirty things on this show.
Ron's
Nobody
jumped
knows.
on the I hate jig fishing bandwagon here.
But that's it. Seriously, though, and I'm being very serious with that. We have a lot of guys come in and they're like, I hate throwing a jig. I have no confidence throwing a jig. And I used to be one of those guys. I hated throwing it, but until you get used to the bite and everything.
I think they can't slow down. That's what it is.
You think that's what it is? It takes too much. You know, the speed's got to be a little slower this time of
It's
year.
like Jonathan and I were talking about. You sweeping that thing along. You got to let it soak for a minute because they're going to follow it along, and they're either going to, when it drags, they're going to hit it, or they're going to look at it and just scoop it up. You'll feel that tick when they pick it up.
Right now, you're wanting it just drug on the bottom.
Right.
I mean, in the summertime, I'm trying 4 or 5 ways to get them to bite.
Yeah,
And they stay hooked better with that jig than they do on a shaky head or a worm.
that
Oh,
I
yeah.
I get to use a big rod and big line like a big boy.
like a big boy. That's right.
You get to stick it to them.
He gets to cross their eyes like that. But so speaking of that, I just see somebody in the comment right there, Jekyll Productions, Ned rig.
Oh yeah, up
Right there.
Jekyll,
So
yeah.
the Ned rig. The Ned rig, listen, I know you don't like, but that thing catches fish. It catches fish. A
I have
Ned rig
tried
catches
and
fish.
tried to throw that and be good with it. All I catch is dinks.
But you catch a lot of them. But you know what the problem is with a Ned rig for a lot of people? They go too fast. A Ned rig is
Right.
a Ned. So that is called the Midwestern finesse technique. It's what, or something like that. That's where it comes. That's where it originated from. It was done in cold water, and by the guy that got it started, that Ned, whatever Ned, somebody, I forget his name.
Rig.
Huh?
Rig.
I knew you would know it, Mister. I know all this stuff, but he did it very slow. I mean, it's
It's so light. If
you
move
have to go, yeah, but you have to. You do the old Bill Payne. If it's slow down. You know, so you probably
It catches big fish. I don't know if Ann's still watching, but that's her go-to bait, and she
Oh, I
pull
know it
5
catches
pounders
big
in on
fish.
it.
I know it catches big fish because I've gotten my tail kicked by it.
It is, but
Barday has waxed my tail. I don't know how many times with that
you know what's funny?
tiny little
What
worm.
is Barday, like 6'8" and all that? Big guy throwing a Ned rig and all that. It's kind of like big guys with dogs.
Mm,
Kind of like Ryan. Ryan's 6'7". How tall are you? Y'all same height.
6'5".
6'5". Ryan's 6'5", and his dogs
No,
are like,
Ryan's 6'7". He's 2 inches taller than I am.
okay,
Yeah,
Ryan's
he's
6'7",
a
and his
beast.
dogs together weigh a combined 22 pounds, and they got pretty hair and all that. I think the bigger the guy, the smaller the dog.
I've got a big lab. What are you talking about?
Huh? I see it a lot.
You talking like
I said,
accessory dog?
Like except Ryan's got a purse dog.
A what?
He's got a purse dog.
Oh,
Ryan's got a purse dog.
You should see the monstrosity when me and Ryan are in the same boat together. It looks like the Twin Towers sitting.
I
in
can
there.
imagine. I can imagine you two hugging, playing basketball against
violating
each other
some
back in the
Coast
day.
Guard regulations.
Mm.
Did you
Yum,
know
yum.
that? Did you
Got
guys?
a little overweight.
Did you know that back in the day, there, McGuire, that Ryan and Farmer played basketball against each other in high school?
Oh wow, I bet that was a show.
I guarantee they have rubbed each other in ways that you can't imagine.
Oh,
I've seen you hugging in here too.
Yeah.
I've got pictures of it.
I hope no Yum Yum was involved.
That would be one
Ew.
ugly thing right there. Ryan?
Do I look like Ryan?
No. My question was, yes. I can't even go down. I don't even know where the hell to
Lord.
go with that one. But that would be the
We
absolute-
tailspun.
That would be the one time that I would see Yum Yum and would never speak of it ever again. That would end Yum Yum.
That's the end of it.
That's the
No
end.
more
of it.
Yum
You
Yum.
and Ryan Yum Yumming on the boat,
Nope.
Nope.
huh?
Nope.
I have to get a new boat.
I need some of that stronger stuff you got
You
over
would
here.
have to just get it. You'd have to power wash that boat. That would be awful. Like that. Oh my God! I'm gonna go home tonight.
If y'all come into the store and see Danny, he'll explain all this to you, and you can get you some. No,
You ain't
never
gonna
mind.
get no Yum Yum. No,
You don't
No.
see that here?
no, I don't sell Yum Yum here. Ain't going here. So that's those guys out in the comment. They're still like, what in the hell are they
Yeah, they're
talking
still
about?
like-
They have no idea.
That comes with the 49.
Ryan,
You got to come by the store and talk to Danny while you're in here shopping, and he'll explain this all to you.
I
so
tell you
can
what, you
join
come in and
with
you
a
spend
laugh.
$100. I'll tell you
There
what
you
it
go.
is. You got to spend $100 of, and I will tell you what that is. So, Pro Little John DD is good, but only about 1 in 10 can be tuned to run straight, in my experience. I've seen several comments in there where people were talking about the tuning of Spros.
I've never had a problem with Spro or Rapala. The Normans I do.
The only
The Normans.
the Essential series in the Spro is where I've had the issue.
Okay.
With the tune, because they're the cheaper of the line.
So they're higher end those pretty well.
Rock crawlers, the only time I have a problem with rock crawlers is if you get hung or something like that, or bang it off a rock, or make a bad cast, bang it off the bank or a dock. Then you have to work on it. But
Right. So there you go.
I think, unfortunately, all manufacturing these days is having some issues just across the board with the products and the way
just
things
post COVID.
Yeah, I mean,
Post COVID, it's in everything. Well, I was listening to the news today, and it just seems like it's in every industry. Got any more questions in there? Flying down the comments. So we got that one right there. Scroll on down a little bit. I want to make sure. Ron Swinford, the spiral has begun. If Sasquatch took a human wife, that would, I think he's talking about you and Ryan on a boat together. Oh, Lord.
Let's just let that soak in.
His daddy made, listen to this.
Did not double you. He put me on you, and you didn't score again.
Listen, this is where I get it going. We're going to talk about glory days. His daddy double teamed me. Oh, my gosh, like that. So, Lord, this is what happens when Danny does a show with no glasses on. Hey, yeah, that's the way it works. Jeremiah's trying to get the comments right back to seriousness. Weird thing about crankbaits is you buy 10 identical baits, but one out of the bunch has all the juice. Odd. You ever found that you just get a favorite one?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. Rock crawler solid. If you catch a few on a little john around rocks, docks, or have to pull a few out, they get very out of whack. And once they do, it's tough to get back right. I get that. So, but I think that's with a lot of baits, spinner baits,
I mean,
spinner baits get out of tune so fast.
Oh, bad.
So bad. I mean, I had
no, Ryan, I am not. You are the better spinnerbait fisherman, hands down. I'll give you that.
Oh, is that it?
The old, you speaking of spinnerbaits, the old the titanium.
Yeah.
Titanium,
bait, custom. They never got out of whack.
Really?
They sprung right back to where they were, straight as an arrow.
Yeah, that was some solid
You can't
stuff.
find them anymore.
No.
And when you do, they're $25, $30.
Yeah, on eBay.
eBay.
On eBay. You think that's just because of what they were made out of?
Titanium.
The titanium wire and all that? Well, let me ask you this. If that's so good, why don't more companies make it out of it?
Striking had it to begin with. They
Right.
had 9 pros that designed 9 different spinner baits, and then Rapala bought them out and produced them for maybe 2 years, because I used to go up to Hammond's and buy them, have them order for me. And Rapala quit making them too. It might have been because of the titanium, the expense in making the titanium wire. You can buy a titanium spinner bait, the head, but you can't buy the wire.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, there you go. That's new to know. Justin Warren, hey guys, what's going on? Justin, you're a little bit late, and we're about to end the show, but appreciate you showing up like that. So buzz baits are the worst about getting out of tune. And I was going to say that I had one of those accent B2Bs, those floating ones, and a 3-pound spot on near just trashed that thing. I mean, it bent that thing 5 different ways, and I could not get that back in tune. Ron also said, jumping on what you guys were talking about, or you were talking about, Kevin, I had one of those titanium Strike King ones. It was great, but eventually broke, which they all will, but it was great spinnerbait. War Eagles are the best out there now, but after about 5 or 6 fish, you better cut it off and build a new one. And that seems like that's just a trend in spinnerbaits and stuff like that.
War Eagles always been so soft, though. Their lead, they make great spinnerbaits, but their lead's so soft and their wire is so flimsy.
But do you think that gives it the better action, though, until you get the fish
It's
on?
got a good vibration.
Good vibration off the War.
Yeah, because that's all about, you got to have that little bit.
Hook on it.
Huh?
I don't care for the hook on it. But
Right. But the thinner the wire, the more vibration it's going to give off, and that's essentially what you're trying to get with a
the easier
spinnerbait.
it's going to bend and break.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I get that. So what about the old Storm thin fin? Hard to cast, but dang, bass love them. I love it. Jonathan's over here like, don't. Yeah. So what about the old Storm thin fin? You still got any of those?
I got 2 left.
They still make them, right? They still have them? What is so good about that bait?
If I'm buying from Storm, I'm buying wiggle wart.
You like the wiggle wart and all that?
Especially right now.
Okay.
The original wiggle wart or
The original.
.035 wire, Ryan says like that. So, but I mean, I think to get the, well, let me ask you, how was just because you brought it up, how was the thump on that titanium compared to?
Great thump because the wire's real thin.
Because the titanium was so strong, you could get away with the thinner wire. That's interesting. So, throw a War Eagle double Colorado, a Johnson 150 outboard pulls less than that thing does. So it definitely gets the thump going right there. All right, real quick, spinnerbait trailers. I like the Cast Echo or bare naked without a trailer. What about y'all? I will just say this: Ryan's gonna pop it up in the comments. I don't care what you throw, you better have a trailer hook on it. But what about what do you like to throw on the back of your spinnerbaits?
I don't have a trailer hook.
You don't, not trailer, but what about the trailer? Do you use a trailer?
I use an old cheap trailer, and I use that KVD. I can't think of the name of the fish now, but it's sectioned in the back. It's got just a good curve to it. We're back and forth in the water.
Back and forth. What about you, Tim?
I don't use any kind of stinger hook or trailer hook, and most of the time I throw them without any trailer. Or if I do put a trailer on it, it's just a little straight
twin tail.
Yeah, a little twin tail, maybe chartreuse or white, something in that ballpark.
All right. What about you, Farmer? What are you throwing your spinnerbaits? Unless it's a secret.
No, it's not a secret.
You can see the wheels spinning here.
No, I usually just use the Zoom spinnerbait trailer. The whatever.
Too long.
The too long little things, or I'll put a.
Is that what Ryan uses?
Yeah, or I'll put a swim bait on the back of it.
Bass Pro Shops Cajun trailer. I knew Ryan would pop into that. He's big, but Ryan's always got a stinger hook or a trailer hook.
But I put
one of the earlier questions we were talking about spinnerbaits, and Tim chimed in too. You throwing a Colorado willow, or you throwing a double Colorado during this time of the year on the pre-spawn?
Depending on how dirty the water is.
Yeah.
If it's or which one's more dirty? Like, is it Sinclair or Oconee? Sinclair. If I'm on Sinclair, it's double Colorado because it's just mud. If I'm on Altoona up in Little River, double Colorado. If I'm foot and a half,
visibility.
Colorado willow.
Colorado willow.
Yeah, because if you're in muddy, nasty water, it's going to slow it down. It's creating a thump because they're not hunting by sight at that point. It's those lateral lines. They're radaring on that thing.
Yeah,
that's
because even a blind fish eats.
A blind fish does eat.
That's why I like that square bill when it's really time for it. I still like it because it's putting out a lot more thump than just your normal crankbait.
Okay, that makes sense. So, all right, guys. Well, I tell you what. Hey, we're about almost 2 hours in, so we're gonna end the episode again next Thursday, especially for all you Lake Lanier guys. And I encourage everybody who doesn't know this name, but Paul Driscoll is going to be on the show next Thursday night. So you definitely want to tune into that. I'm going to see if I can get him to drop some secrets. But Jonathan, I appreciate you jumping in here after work. I know you had a long day, and great conversation with you. Great information, Kevin, as always. Good to see you up here on a Thursday night, and safe travels next week. And he'll come back with the question of the week. In 2 weeks, another stumper. Ron Swinford, don't forget, you got to give me the question of the week for next week. And Tim, again, thank you for doing all the work. A lot of stuff in the comment section tonight. So you were a busy guy, and you guys back there in the gallery, we appreciate you guys joining us. So again, hey, guys, we love you. You guys make the show. We hope you enjoyed tonight's episode. Again, if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button and all that. You have no idea how much it helps. And check out that membership. Some really good stuff coming down the line. And if you're out on the water, it's going to be cold this weekend. Be safe. Make sure you dress appropriately. We don't want to hear about any accidents or anybody falling in. And, you know, it's cold. Water's in what, low 40s, mid 40s?
I think somebody told me today it was 41, 42 when they got there.
Well, the water's not scary. It's the wind.
Well, the wind's going to be bad this weekend too. Yeah, for sure.
If you're looking at 11 degrees, the wind chill factor is going to get it down to 0.
Be very careful because we had 2 fall in Saturday.
Wow.
So it's
be
guys,
very careful.
That's something else you can talk about on the show one evening is what they need to carry in the boat with them in the event they do.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah,
that would be good. That would be a good topic. So, guys, hey, listen, you guys in the comment section, appreciate that. Yeah, Phil, give me a holler tomorrow. And hey, guys, look for all the stuff we got coming down the line. But if nothing else, enjoy your weekend, enjoy some time with your family, and we will see you next Thursday night with Paul Driscoll here on the Live Well. You guys have a great evening.